Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another StreamYard edition Coffee with Rita. Today is a special edition. I actually was getting ready to game, actually. I didn't game but a little bit, maybe a half hour last night after I got off. Maybe 45 minutes. Chloe picked me up a couple beers the other day. I haven't finished them, but I want to share with you a story with you all. No, it does not have to do with me drinking, Today is about World War III, prepping, etc., okay? Let me tell you what's going on, okay? I got a message from Pee Wee, right? Now, Pee Wee knows when I do, Pee Wee's giving me video suggestions. That's what Pee Wee was doing. Unfortunately, I want to say something, okay, to you all that has to be addressed. First of all, people are upset that there's going to be a blue wave. I mean, literally. Look at Gigi, for example. Gigi turned around and literally said that there's a lot of pissed off women out there. Hey, Chris. Well, that's good that you have a friend coming by in 25 years. Everyone, Mark keeps asking, where the hell have you been? I said, I don't know. I must have pissed you off. And Ricky, between you and Ricky, you two are like thick as thieves. So I figure you two were basically, Anyways, this is very important to me. I don't want to get sidetracked. Good to see you, Chris. So Gigi last night was talking about Gigi was talking about a lot of pissed off people. Well, if you're looking at it, we're in July. Okay, we got August, September, October, November. Okay, so November, and so basically, what's going on is simple. When it comes to this, you got what 3.5 months or so until November, right? Literally 3.5 months. Let's see, August, September, October. So give or take 3 months, 3.5 months, right? In the meantime, 3.5 months can change. But in the meantime, as long as the momentum's there, it looks like it's going to be a blue wave because every woman out there believes that they're entitled to their reproductive organs. See, that's what I just said. You and Ricky are thick as thieves. You're busy with Ricky. See, you're busy with Ricky and work and yard work. So there you go. See, Ricky and you. That means right there. Hey, maybe you two are a couple. Anyways, congratulations. World War III, okay? Pee Wee sent me a video about World War III. I want to address this right here, right now, okay? Everyone's freaking panicked, okay? Let me put it this way. I've gotten a message from the good Lord on this. I think I can share it with you all. That's very important, especially to Pee Wee, all right? Now, look at what's going on in the world, all right? You got gas prices going down. Gas prices are going down. Literally going down. See, I can make a joke from time to time, Chris, about a couple. See? Gas prices going down. Now, let me be on course. I can't. If you're not going to be here this long, then I need to basically continue what I'm saying. So, gas prices are going down. Everyone's now panicked World War III. Why? Well, let's see. We put Russian sanctions, plain and simple. Well, you are thick as thieves. I haven't been on. I went on for 3 hours yesterday and didn't see hide and hair, and people keep asking where you're at. So I keep saying, well, I must have pissed off Chris. Now, so we don't get sidetracked today. I want to stay on focus today, okay? Very important subject. So basically, World War III. All these people are like, you got to prep for World War III. Look, there's a Canadian prepper, okay? I looked up his information. I got intel on him, okay? Canadian prepper, some guy who claims, oh, look over here, we're going to be going to war soon, nuclear war. This was like a week ago, 10 days ago or something. Actually, 2 weeks ago, okay? 2 weeks ago, he turned around and said in the next 6 days, we were going to have World War III. 6 days, by the way. This was like July 4th when I got the message. Pee Wee sent me the email July 4th. So, it's July 4th, and now it's July 17th, right? That's 13 days. So let's just say 2 weeks, right? I don't see a nuclear bomb going off yet, so. And then you have people saying, well, nuclear, look. Yeah, well, still, yeah. And I've been gaming and I've been taking care of things, but I also been handling YouTube videos too. And besides that, my phone was reset. When I factory reset it, Chris, I lost everyone's numbers. That's why I haven't called you. I reset this piece of crap's phone, and all I got out of it was my sister Teddy texting me. So, which, by the way, let me just show you this, Chris, since you're like, you should text me sometime. Yeah, here we go. Let's just close this out, okay? So basically, here we go. See, look at this. See this? You try texting on something like this. Very inconvenient. That's why I don't text much. But I got a phone call tonight with my sister at 7. So hopefully by then my video will be done. Now, can we get back to things? All right. Basically, Pee-wee emailed me saying, you got to check out World War III, So, look, World War III, I've already got a message, all right? It won't happen, okay? You guys are panicked for nothing. I mean, look. Let me tell you how it's working currently, okay? I'll tell you how it's going to happen, all right? Here's how it's going to happen, okay? If they were going to drop a nuclear bomb, we would have known by now, okay? Russia basically sits there. Right? There's this guy. He's African American, seems cool, okay? He's from Texas, which is cool. But let me tell you what everyone's worried about in Texas. Texas is worried. Texas is worried. We need to arm ourselves. Look. The thing is if every boot jack in Texas wants to freaking do what they want, it's fine. But I'm going to basically put down the numbers today. I'm literally putting down the numbers. I don't care if my cousin basically hates me for calling everyone in Texas a boot jack. But they're paranoid boot jack. And I'll tell you why they're paranoid, okay? First of all, no one in this country is going to be using nukes, nor is another country. The devastation after Hiroshima and Nagasaki is too great. And most people stop doing testing because it's destroying our atmosphere and leaving a 50 to 100 year zone where it's uninhabitable. So, what do you think they're going to do? Bomb the crap out of us with nukes and then fucking walk away for 100 years and claim our land? Look. 2 problems here. This guy turns around and says, oh, we got World War III coming, World War III coming. Look. We don't have World War III coming. So basically, let me put it this way. World War III, okay? First of all, on the topic, we're not going to go to where Chris is going. I'm sorry. I'm staying on the topic right now. This is important. Basically, first of all, we're going to have a Red Dawn scenario. If you haven't seen Red Dawn, watch the 1982 and the and the Chris Hemsworth remake, okay? 2. Well, China is going to, or not China, Russia wants our resources. Look, China has 50% of our fucking farmlands. Congress people in the Republican Party are trying to change that. 50%. They control 50% of our farmland. They control half of our fucking companies over here. What's that tell you now? They're communism within. You think they're just going to hand Russia the entire keys and say, here you go, there's 50% of the farmland's mine? No. 2, Russia wants our oil. Excuse me, but what oil do we have here? Think about it. If we are shipping what oil we're making overseas and we're buying oil from Russia, and then we do sanctions, and then now we're making deals to get lower oil from the Arab nations. Arab nations know that they're going to let us lower the price, fix the economy, and be fine, right? People will go back to work if they can keep lowering the gas prices under $4. They can get it to $3. We're doing great, There's going to be a point where they're going to stop, but at the same time, we have a fuel problem, right? So we don't have enough oil in this country to basically make Russia to go invade. Food sources, they want our food capabilities. Really, 50% of our farmers are running on fucking is owned by China. The other 50% are growing not much crops because The government's telling them that they need long-lasting clothes and stuff. That they got a contract for more and more hemp. Hold on a sec. You see where I'm going with this? Basically, we don't have anything they want. It's fine. I'm trying to explain it, but I also need to fucking fix the toilet again. You just need to take a shit in the toilet. Why? Hmm? What? Whatever. Look, I'm doing my best I can with the video, right? So basically, the bottom line is for some of you people out there this morning, you got to think, okay? People say you don't need to prep, you need to worry about World War III. Look, let me tell you what's going on in the world, all right? This is the coffee edition with Rita, Sunday morning edition, okay? I read a lot of reports last night before bed. I was half out of it. By the way, when people email me, I go and look up the facts, okay? I watched Pee Wee's 3-minute video. I chuckled. And then I was, I've been arguing with God on many things. Like I said, last night I went shopping. However, I'm kind of PO'd with the... So basically... Basically, these people are saying there's a Red Dawn scenario. There is no Red Dawn scenario. Russia's not going to invade us. We don't have anything for them to have, okay? Maybe they want to conquer us for our fish. Maybe they want to conquer us for that. But China owns 50% of our oil. I mean, our farms. And this guy's saying, oh, well, our Texas is a high oil area. Texas is a high oil area, you son of a bitch. Then why is it that all our oil's been shipped overseas, huh? Texas doesn't get to control the oil. It's the fucking energy department and others that ship out the oil. So, And then on top of that, Texas is basically failing like everywhere else. I mean, literally, we're not getting anywhere. What we need is new blood, new leadership. We don't need the old rhinos running things. But I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, you need to go overthrow the government. No, I don't condone violence. What I'm saying is these people are basically sitting there. I'm not saying Pee Wee's paranoid. I'm not saying anyone's paranoid. But if you look at the big picture here, I've been asked to speak up from God's point of view. And that is, there is not going to be a nuclear bomb dropped in our lifetime, okay? There ain't going to be a World War III, okay? And if there is a World War III, it's going to be at the end of the 21st century or the mid 3/4 of the way through when all the oil's out. I mean, look, they want to speed up computer chip production. That drains the oil more. And, the thing is you need oil. Evo, you okay? Something stinks. Is that you? Basically, they say, well, you need to, they want to, what resources do we have, huh? What resources? We import everything from China. Yeah, it's a big mess if someone wanted to conquer us. And that's the thing. Americans are sitting there. We got half of it saying, look, and then you got these people saying, oh, I mean, look, Pee Wee and I warned you 2 years ago about the cattle cart thing. Hasn't happened yet. But think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think around us all up in cattle carts. The worthless eaters. The Chris's moms. I say worthless eaters because that's what Pee Wee says. And that's what the government thinks we are. We're just worthless eaters. Our life isn't that worth much to the government. They want to keep us fed, but that's about it. But they're also raising prices so the poor die off quicker too. So People sit there and, they're like, oh, you need to prep, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, you don't. You see, as I said a while ago, all right, this has to do with prepping and World War III. If you sit back, if you mind your own business, and you keep an eye on the stuff you order all the time, you can turn around and monitor what you buy. You'll see a lot more pricing. Damn, that went up in price again. So basically, as I monitor my pricing, my new order for next month, I've noticed pricing went up, but that's only for cases of stuff. The problem is the supply and demand is not there. Okay, people are stockpiling everything, and I think it's because people see what I buy and they stockpile too. Yeah, I blame Chris. He says, "Oh, got to throw it out there, Chris. Got to throw a joke in there from time to time." I mean, just like the thing with him and Ricky. Enjoy your lunch date with Randy. And have a great lunch date. Make sure you have some white wine to go with your chicken. That's what it pairs with it. You see, I can be funny in too. Just because. But no, seriously. All right. Basically, I'm looking at the pricing right now. Okay, pricing is going up in some items, down on others. Problem is, some people want whatever, whenever, however, right? Now, when it comes to prepping, okay, still you need to prep because you always need to prep, rotate your stuff out. But same time, people ask me all the time, what's going to happen in the future? I don't know. We got several problems. Okay, you got people panicking. Okay, here's the problem with the first prep problem. Okay, we're in summertime. We have, quote unquote, the summertime, right? Pandemic is getting rampant again. President Biden's already issued a 3-month extension. Okay, that means until pandemic is over, the states are now issued the blue states have issued the money. Now, I don't know where they're going, how they're getting the food stamps, but for what I understand, in this state, it is another 3 months of food stamps. Yeah, living in the past would be good. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is the government is literally turning around and basically screwing over this country. Look, they want to bring in computer chip factory because their production slowed down. The production slowed down because oil is slowed down. Oil is slowed down because the pandemic has slowed down, and because everything has slowed down, I think China has got something going for itself. Sorry to say, President Xi might be right when it comes to doing what he's doing. Because look around. Xi's under complete lockdown until this pandemic completely dies down. He ain't moving product, right? But the rest of the world needs to basically be moving about. And if you get 20 boosters, you get 20 boosters. You get 50 boosters, you get 50 boosters. Problem is the more boosters you get, the better, right? Hold on a second. Thought you were going to be in 10 minutes ago. It's already 11. 10 minutes ago, yes. Yeah, it's 11:15 almost. Okay. I hate these bitches. They're slow. Sorry about that if you heard me mumbling. I said I don't like people that. So Chris is leaving, but the point I'm trying to make to you all today is simple: I'm here for one reason, and that is to reassure you that there is not going to be World War III. All right, literally, look, we're gonna have a blue wave. If that's going to trigger World War III, think of it. It's going to be a Republicans doing. One Republican, but then again, as long as Biden controls the football, unless theory here, unless Biden decides as a senile old man he launches the nuclear football, then you got to be worried. Yeah, well, you don't need to be combative with shit. Damn. I'm trying to get this done. I think, unless you want something else. Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, because of it. So, I woke up this morning with a runny nose. So, but anyway, sorry about that. So, let's just finish up here, okay? There won't be any World War III, okay? What I'm trying to say to stay on point is simple, okay, is this. The people out there literally sit there in their word, okay? Every other presidential election, we got to prep. Okay, I'm prepping. Oh, we're going to have World War III, right? My brother and I were talking the other day. Anyway, one of my adopted brothers. Conspiracy nut job, okay? Turned around, he said nothing's going to happen. The thing is, nothing's going to happen, that's the thing. I think they got him medicated finally. But the thing is, nothing's going to happen. I mean, look. There's a guy saying in 6 days we're going to war, we're going to nuclear war, you need to prepare, kiss your ass, blah, blah, blah. 6 days later, 13 days later. Look, you can't believe everything on YouTube, okay? Plain and simple. Think of it. You can't believe everything on YouTube because, look around. Pee-wee and I used to joke around all the time, okay? I can't believe this dipshit on YouTube. He's claiming there's another stimulus check. I mean, look. Let's just cut the bullshit here and I'll explain what's going on, okay? Basically, when it comes to unemployment, by the way, I'm trying to cut out my swearing a bit here on this video. Basically, what's going on is simple, okay? When the pandemic hit, right? Trump was like, oh, no, there's nothing wrong. It's just a China virus, definitely China virus. Instead, spread out. We're on year 3 of it, okay? I said back then that we're going to have to adjust, which means every variant's going to get more and more powerful unless God wants to use every variant strain to kill us off one by one, right? So in the meantime, population's 8 to 9 billion people, and we're having problems. China's in lockdown. Only country it is. Everyone else is worried about income. The entire country world's going to collapse financially, I guarantee it. But the question is when. That's why you got to prep for it. And then all currency is useless. Right? So then you turn around and then you got people panicking about World War III, right? I already said when stimulus checks run out, prices are going to go through the roof because everyone bought every other electronic gizmo out. But food went up too. But now food's going down and gas is going down. So with the new deals, people say, oh, well, have you seen the new thing on YouTube? Here's a video where old man Biden's shaking a ghost. He thinks there's a ghost there and he's shaking it. He thinks some guy's there. I don't care, okay? I don't pay attention to what old man Biden does, all right? Look, I'm God's prophet. My prophecies, I'm telling you, there ain't going to be World War III. Secondly, I'm trying to let you all know right now that we have no fucking resources. No offense. No freaking resources for Russia. Our oil is gone. What we're doing is we're basically pushing oil to the surfing by fracking it. And then some guy says, oh, they want our oil in Texas. No, they don't. If anyone wants to invade Texas, it'd be the freaking Mexicans. They can just open the door, come on up. I mean, literally. I mean, think of it from our point of view. People sit there and say, oh, well, we're going to invade, really. Look, point I'm making is before I go is this, all right? There is not going to be World War III, all right? The Republicans, this is where I'm going with this. The Republicans out there are coming up with new areas, new ways of freaking brainwashing people, all right? Look, God wants me to be on the front lines for you guys. Look at God's prophets. When we sit there and we see a prophet or a minister of God say, there's not going to be any peace in this world, you're going to bend over, give me your money, by the way, and, we're going to war. I'm saying look at it from the point of view from me, all right, from God's point of view. I wasn't going to make this video, but I was told to. The reason for it is look around at the people. You got too many people. You got freaking, during the Obama years, you need to prep, you need to prep, you need to prep. Then they lax for 4 years. Now, oh, we got old man Biden, we need to prep, we need to prep. And during the Obama administration was all about World War III. I mean, look, I have the documents I pulled up from my filing cabinet. During the Clinton administration, look, the Republicans, no offense to anyone watching this, this is just, you don't need to worry about World War III. You also don't need to worry about right now, unless God tells me to give you an update. Prepping is fine. Prep all you like. There is going to be a financial collapse. The question is when. They're also going to test out the phone services and stuff to make sure that, the phone service, if it goes down, that you guys can handle yourself. But my point being is, if if you got to realize that if you guys are going to go and basically sit there and say, oh, look, one guy said 6 days, prepare for World War III. It's been 13. It's hard to say. It didn't happen. The guy's basically, the intel I'm getting is he's purely a crackpot. Now look at the Republicans. The Republicans sit there and old man Biden's now lowering, with the help of certain people, the oil's going down, right? No, we don't know how it's happening. And some people say, oh, well, it's just temporary. Well, look, I'm going to guarantee this for all of you people, okay? All of you people. All right? And I'm not going to basically sit here and I blame both parties. I'm not a party favorite. But look at what's going to happen. They're going to lower the pricing of gas and food until after the elections. Think of it. They're going to do everything in their power to say recession's fixed and then get in for another term. That's what's going to happen. But at the same time, Republicans lie too. Republicans are not saying, well, if you deal with Biden, we're going to have World War III. It's not going to work. Everyone can see it's a bunch of bullshit. That's the thing. God wants me to say it's a political ploy. God's not going to allow a nuclear war to go happen on his planet unless he deems he wants every man, Homo sapien, and monkey to be wiped out. Goes back to the other problem. The other problem is the Republican Party and the Republicans out there, the QAnoners, the Trumpers, everything else. Each party is manufacturing a crisis. And that was where I was going with it. You got a guy from Canada saying, we're going to worry about World War III. Everyone's buying it. The thing is, where's the proof? There is no proof. I get my own special intel information every morning from guys I trust with my life, who are up there high enough up that says these fucking YouTubers are making a living off you buying into this shit. I could basically make video after video of 10-minute videos saying you need to prepare for World War III. I'd make a killing off it, but do you think I want to? No, I got other things to do in life. So when someone sits there and says, oh, you need to work, look, you got all these people panic buying and worried and prepping. So if you're worried about fucking World War III, build a fucking nuclear bunker under your house. Get it over with because no one gives a fucking shit. Thing is, people, look. Just recently, Biden extended the 3-month thing, so I think that includes 3 more months food stamps. So basically, they're pushing this out as long as possible, and they're basically thinking about mask mandates again. Think about it. He's basically lining for a blue wave. I've already said this time and time again. People say, "Oh, well, we'll see." Then you got other states doing it. See, what he's doing is he's riding on the backs of the women whose rights have been taken. He's riding on the transgender, saying, if you allow Republicans, they're going to take away your sex change. We're going to make sure that even the passable JWs of the world are going to be freaking, BWs of the world. Buffalo Wild Wings of the world, tranny nickname, Buffalo Wild Wings. We're going to take away all your rights. Well, that'd be fine. Even the passable ones have to use the men's bathroom. I'd like to see a woman wearing a skirt going in there. Woo, yeah, I'm a real woman, but they make me do this because I have to be there. And I'll put there unless they make transgender bathroom. But the point is, look where I'm going with this. Republicans Look, the Democrats are fueling theory and lies. Okay, they're sitting there telling the fucking people, literally, that if you go to polls, your rights are taken away. Women's rights. I called this a few months ago. I said to Pee Wee, I said to everyone, watch the dominoes fall and hand the blue wave will win. Pee Wee again said, out now, it's the Republicans. Family said the same thing. You know why my family's not talking to me besides getting a new puppy? It's because they know a blue wave's coming. They did not forecast that there were this many pissed off women out there. And transgendered and gays and lesbians and bis. The entire states are fractured. The Republican Party's down the toilet. Second reason they don't like it is I basically said, quote unquote, the Republican Party is not the fix-all party, not as the Democrats. Plain and simple. Those parties are dead. Both parties are dead. All they're doing is vying for power. One party lying to the other party, putting fear into it. Fear tactics. Doesn't anyone realize everything's fucking fear tactics nowadays, or are they all stupid? I mean, literally, I wake up in the morning here, my rights are going to be taken away. I can't be a woman. My answer to Chloe is, let me have my fucking coffee and wake up. Then I go through the news feeds, and then I go, oh. I mean, look, I do these videos, okay? I don't know what the hell's going on in Texas, and frankly, I could care less. Unless my family finally gets around to telling me, they're in their own little world, okay? And frankly, Texas is not going to... People say, well, you need to be in Texas. We need every American that owns a gun in Texas. Really? So you can overthrow the rest of the government because you're freaking in Texas? No. They're basically thinking that their state's protected. The thing is the entire shit with... crap hits the fan, and no one's going to be safe. That's the thing. I mean, look, Texas, I've already looked up. Look, I play farming games for fun, okay? Farming games. You know what I heard the other day? Well, that's a boring game. Guess what? The farming games actually help you determine crops and everything. So basically, in Texas, I went through I have a book that tells me exactly what crops grow in what state, right? Cotton and wheat's mostly what's available in Texas. They can grow some other stuff, but mostly it's cotton and wheat. And cotton's down south. Now, you can't eat cotton, can you? But then you got to go and buy a textile factory, which usually our cottons have been shipped out to China, and then they turn it into cloth. Or it goes to another country, and it's turned into cloth. And then the cloth is, eventually it comes back to the final product where the reason people say, oh, well, a t-shirt should be $2. Really. The cotton's made out of X amount of bales of cotton. People get hurt picking the cotton. Then it goes to the processor. The processor then loads it on a ship. The ship company takes it to wherever to put it on a loom. Eventually, it gets turned into cloth or fabric, and that costs money. Problem is, no one thinks that people, Thing is this country has relied far too long for non-self-independence. That's the thing. People sit there and say self-liberty and independence. We're not self-independent. You can go and buy an American-made gun. You can go and buy an American-made fishing rod, but or assembled in America at least. But where's the rest? So, bottom line is, when it comes to Americans being self-sufficient, we contract everything out. You don't have, you can get a guy who's got a degree in carpentry, right? He can make something. You can go to a mechanic who's went to school to be a mechanic. He knows what he's talking about. But you have to have specialty schools for it, military schools sometimes, you see. And yet, That's my point, My point is whatever you think, everything is manufactured mentally. Mentally manufactured, okay? So basically, that is it. Every party is basically saying, oh, Biden's going to put us in World War III. Really? Biden's doing everything he can to save the grain and the oil, all right? He already put sanctions on Russia, and Russia's not happy, but Russia's got more oil than us, so why would Russia want to freaking invade us? Just because they can conquer us? No. I mean, it'd be basically a bloodbath between Russians and Americans. Americans got more guns in this country, so I don't think, that's why, before I go, I wanted to say, think about it. Every president, either one party or the other, manufactures some bullshit lie. I want you to go deep down in your heart, your soul, pull out the paranoia and the disgust, whoever you are, if you're watching this, pull it out. Go to some of these YouTubers, watch their videos. They're not convincing. Thing is, when you have God, God will tell you what he wants you. God will tell you, no, there is no World War III. People these days want to believe a YouTuber over anything. I mean, look. Point being is, look around. It's not going to happen in our lifetime. Look. The bottom line is the American people need to realize that they're freaking worried, okay? Look, I want you guys to take a deep breath, take a step back, and think of a couple things about your prepping, your World War III paranoia, all right? Let me tell you something very important I've learned recently. All you people out there say, oh, well, we're prepped, we're ready to go, really. So you're prepped, ready to go. You got all your food and everything. So what if, hypothetically, Russia or China decides right outside your backyard, you just say you have a farmland, okay? Decides to detonate nukes here and there and everywhere, and it's right outside your backyard, and you don't know it. You get vaporized within X amount of miles radius, right? You're vaporized. Your food didn't do any good. Think about it. One person doesn't have anything. One person does not have the power to do anything. Worrying is only going to give you gray hair. Plain and simple. You sit there and you worry about everything. You're going to end up dead in the ground or heart disease. Look. People sit there and they panic buying. They're panic buying. Thing is, unless you can go and panic buy a bunker, you're basically screwed anyway. Look at it. It's nuclear war. So don't worry about nuclear war. You can't. It won't make you. It'll only add wrinkles. Look. There's multiple reasons why they're using the nuclear card, okay? Nuclear war card. I'll tell you. Let me explain it, okay? During the Trump administration era, no one freaking prepped. No one. As soon as Trump got up, people started prepping, thinking, oh, Trump's going to stay in office. I said, no, he isn't. I argued with my family on this. I basically told them how it was. They didn't like it. I live in Texas, but I blame both parties, all right? All they're doing is buying for power. Did you know there's 5,000 bills? There is 5,000 bills sitting in the House and Senate right now that won't get passed because both parties won't agree. Back in the day, most bills were passed pretty good. They take the name lawmaker seriously. I say give it a break. You know why? Both parties are vying for power. The more money and more state Republicans, the more money goes to red states. When it's blue states, now the red states, people say, "Oh, red states make plenty." Really, I want you to go through your states, your red states and your blue states. Look over the GDP and what's produced where, and you'll see. Yeah, I mean, look at it this way: United States government lets each state do its own thing, pretty much, with federal law balancing things out, right? But I told you I'd fucking hit you if you drop the plate again. So, anyways, where was I? So basically, each party's manufacturing lies. Okay, you got one guy and these preppers on one side saying, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do." Yeah, I'm prepping. Okay, I'm taking it slow and easy. On the other side, you got the idiot saying World War III is coming. So you got one party basically prepping, the other party bracing for World War III, and I'm in the middle telling you, don't worry about the World War III thing. Financial collapse could happen, and I'll tell you why it would happen. The problem is with the financial collapses, as Pee Wee said, when the warehouse is empty, there's going to be problems. And when they can't get restocked, which, by the way, I haven't checked the news lately. Let me check on something. All right, so I'm looking up something here. So basically, it's not saying. So basically, there's a lot of problems going up, but so far I haven't seen anything for. So basically. Hold on, this is June 28th. So let me see. This is Bloomberg News. I trust Bloomberg, by the way. I know Pee Wee's husband probably doesn't, but this says currently in the whatever. I'm not creating accounts. Let me read this real quick. No. So basically, apparently, there's 28,000 idle containers sitting in the California harbor. 28,000, and apparently, California is threatening fines if the cargo ships aren't moving. But the truckers have that problem, right? I mean, look. Mitch McConnell said it best when he said, "People will go back to work when the money runs out," right? The money is not running out. He's basically either saying, "We're going to give you money until the pandemic's over," or the pandemic's staying, just go back to work. I mean, it's an open-ended how you interpret it. But the way I interpret it is right now Biden has just extended 3 months. 3 months. Let's see, that's August, September, October. So that's like right around the November mark. And because they got to give 60 days notice to terminating food stamps, cell phone service, internet providers, etc., that means it's actually a total of 5 months. Do your math, okay? 5 months, as my cousin would say. The freeloading bums and the bloody freeloaders are going to get away with what they're getting away with, you see? So my point is this. My point is out of love for you all, think about it. That's what I'm trying to tell you is when and if there's World War III, I'll let you know. But right now, there is none. There is nothing on the table. These people are freaking doing it to make a living. Me and Higgins had a discussion the other day, right? Higgins isn't worried about World War III. He's only worried about his Social Security benefits when and if he gets them, which I'm working with him on. But think of it this way. He's not worried. He emailed me the other day, right? You know what he's worried about? He's got $1,000 in food stamps he can't eat fast enough. So next month it's going to roll over to another $500. I mean, he can't eat the food fast enough. Bananas, oatmeal, better cheddars. Literally. And by the way, if anyone knows that Simply Chicken or Air Chicken or Organic Simply Chicken or whatever it's called, let me look it up real quick. This stuff here, I think it is. Oh, wherever it went. Oh, well. Did this get refrozen? Yeah, it's refrozen. Okay. So everything's been refrozen. I'm going to try the Stouffer's tonight. So here it is. So basically, there's this chicken thing, right? It's like organic something chicken, right? Chicken sausages, not that tasty. So don't buy them. All right. So basically, what I'm saying is this: prep, and prep, because there is going to be a financial collapse, and the reason for it is. Think of it from the perspective of the pandemic, right? Have you thought that maybe God basically is slowing down technology for your benefit? I mean, literally, computer chips use oil to the oil is used as a polymer to make computer chips. Without oil, computer chips can't be made. Without oil, computer chips can't be made, cars can't be sold. Without cars, the ozone gets a little bit healed. Meanwhile, you don't hear Elon Musk talking about why we need electric cars with $10,000 batteries either. So think of it this way. The government is going in the wrong direction. That's the problem. They are going in the wrong direction. No government can actually fix the problems of today. That's the thing. Taking away people's guns, that doesn't work. Let me tell you a story. I don't know if Pee Wee heard this because I think Pee Wee will listen to this later when she has time. But let me tell you, last night on the scanner, there was a guy that had his house raided. Sheriff took all his guns out. They were reading the serial numbers over the scanner. That tells you right there. And putting the guy in a system where he can't buy guns or he can't own guns. And yet, same time, we have a nation and a state database, if you didn't know. I found this out last night. See? They say, oh, we don't need a registration. There's a gun registration. When you buy a gun, it goes into the state's licensing department. When you buy a gun from any state, this guy bought his guns in Idaho and Oregon. Tells you right there. They know where you're buying it. So say, for example, my cousin owns guns, right? He doesn't. He doesn't believe in them. Good for you, cuz. And yet, same time, they turn around. Let's just say he bought like 500 of them, right? Say Oregon. He's in Texas. All of a sudden, they do a weapons raid at his house, okay? Hypothetically, which won't happen because he doesn't own guns. But guess what? Then they find out he bought them all in Oregon. Oregon keeps a log. Texas knows there's a log. There is a nationwide log, too. When you go and you're buying a gun, right? Handgun, a long gun, shotgun, whatever, the 4473 form's filed with the federal government and the ATF. You don't think they know what you bought? They do. Think of it. This guy literally blurted it last night on the scanner. Literally. So think about it from that point of view. The government wants to control every movement. They already know you have guns. They know you're buying guns on Bud's gun shop, hypothetically, let's just say, because you're basically getting the email. The email's filtered through Prism. Prism knows what you're buying. So say you sit there and you say, oh, well, I don't trust the government. I'm going to use money orders, right? They know you bought the money order. They know you made an agreement through the email program. So you can basically, that's still paper. Now, if you went and made agreements through snail mail, they wouldn't know unless they were starting to analyze your mail. Then the government would start to worry, quote unquote, when you went to the ATM and took cash out. They want to basically control your cash intake too. They want to control your cash intake. They want to control what you buy. I mean, look at this state. This state won't let you have high-priced razors. I mean, literally, this state doesn't allow certain ones. This island doesn't allow it. They say, well, we're the government. We can dictate what you can and can't buy in this state. And Amazon's basically enforcing it. Think of it that way. If you didn't know. The item, the seller could be from Arab country for all we know, but still, they're not telling. So, point is, we're going to have a financial collapse first for any World War III. And World War III will be the last straw if and when the oil runs out. That's the truth. So you don't need to worry about World War III because think of it. As Higgins and I talked about the other day, let me put it this way. Everyone's out to make a buck, okay? Everyone. For example, what if you turned around, right? Turned around, which, by the way, I haven't seen the police blog lately, so let me see if they updated it yet. All right, so basically what I'm trying to say is here we go. I want to check my newspaper again. This will tell me what we need to know. I want to see if I see what's going on. So apparently some kid set a park on fire the other day. Yeah, okay, so nothing now. They just updated a few days ago. Okay, so I was hoping to see the news about the weapons raid. But anyways, they won't post it, But it's out there. I'm telling you. Well, let's think of it this way. The government is trying to force everyone to go with smartphones. Why? So they can turn the GPS on through Prism and watch everyone walking around through the world, knowing where you're at all times. I use this. Why? Because I can. Government keeps saying, oh, one day your flip phone won't work. Well, one day when it doesn't work, I'm buying another one. See? Point taken. Point is, we are struggling financially. The entire country. China's in lockdown. They're not going to produce things, which means we have to wait. But China knows something we don't. You see, that's the problem with us. We're being led in the dark. If they are not telling us we have a gun nationwide and a state database, China knows we do. China knows that as long as the oil is running out, they're going to have to slow down production. Maybe China's doing it for their own production needs. Have you thought of it that way? China's buying Russia's oil because China can. The rest of the world is not being. Rest of the world's following by sanctions. Meanwhile, we're sending weapons to Ukraine to defeat Russia, supposedly. I mean, look at the former Soviet blocs. I want you to take a look at the histories from the 1940s to the 1990s, 50 years of the Soviet Union rule. What countries in the Soviet Union, like the Stan countries, produce stuff and why? Pakistan and India produce cotton. They're a big producer of cotton. But you don't see Russia going into Pakistan. No, Pakistan ended up with nukes, by the way, if you didn't know. They're one of like 7 countries that have nukes. Israel, the United States, China, Russia, America, England, all have nukes. But the only country that's testing nukes right now is North Korea and Iran. You don't hear Russia talking about testing nukes. Russia stopped testing nukes. People don't even read about how Russia stopped testing nukes. But everyone out there says, oh, we're going to go to World War II. They're making a living. It's just a buck. Me and Pee Wee used to talk about how many jackboots out there where Pee Wee would send me a message and say, oh, you need to watch this video because this guy's saying we're getting another stimulus check. Right after the last stimulus check we got. That guy was doing it to make a living. When that didn't happen, he had to come up with something else. Now, these peppers / Trumpers / Republicans / people, they're buying into whoever's telling them to lie about World War III because I have friends that are Trumpers that are Republicans that say that they're basically fed bullshit lie. And these are government officials I know. Government officials. They're the one that told me firsthand that we were going to help Ukraine after Ukraine was invaded. They were out first on the ground. They knew what they were doing. That's how high up they were in the intelligence field. So I do have friends in high places, but you know what? To them, I'm their boss. And what we do is private. But at the same time, if I need something, I'll let them know. But so far, I don't need a favor. Problem is, they're basically keeping me in. They do watch my channel and they say, boss, you know. And God wants you guys to know there won't be World War III. These guys know it too. The problem is there's too many people out there in fear, hearing, well, Biden's going to do this. Biden, you know what? The only thing Biden did was give more Democrats more food stamps. Extend the program for another 5 months for food stamps and internet and phone, which the taxpayers are paying for. My sister Teddy is a Republican. She said, why should she be left in the dark by not taking advantage of the Democratic-controlled internet bill? She went and got fiber recently. Got a deal on it. So she's happy. But at the same time, she's taking advantage of that. And the phone service. And her daughter is. So most of her family is taking advantage of this stuff. She's a Republican. Why not take advantage of it, she says. She's got to pay for it, so she might as well utilize it, right? There's people like my cousin Dinky and Corey. They bring in too much money. They can't take advantage of it. And then they see other people taking advantage of it, and they're upset about it. Freeloading bumps. Well, you know what? I could get a deal on a better phone system, but do you think I'm going to take advantage of it? No, because I don't want to be fucking tracked. So if they think I'm insane because I'm not doing it, or I'm not taking advantage of it, no. Secondly, is there's people out there that are getting free rent too. By the way, government's cutting checks every month for free rent. Free rent, and yet free electricity. You're paying for it. This is what buying the fucking votes, by the way. Just think about it that way. So unless you heard it from me first, that's what's buying the fucking votes. The blue wave is not just the women, the African American women, the Hispanic women, the white women, the trans women. They all are fighting for their rights. They were told Republicans are going to take away your reproduction system. I mean, look what Chloe's been telling me. That now men can't get vasectomies. It's against the law because they want to keep the population going. Maybe we can't sustain ourselves. Maybe that's why God's giving people minds to say, look, you don't want a kid because it costs money, and two, is your gene pool is not that great. I mean, literally, has anyone ever thought that some people don't want kids because it costs too much money? I mean, right now it's saying it's a little over $950,000 to raise a kid from 0 to 18. Yeah. How many people have $950,000? They can put $950,000 for retirement. But then you have some people that just keep being a baby popper because they don't want to work. And those are the ones that you got to put in the labels, freeloading bums. Plain and simple. And you, the taxpayers, are paying for it. And yet, the economy is hurting. While they're getting extra food stamps and free rent because they have kids and WIC programs, cell phones and internet and rent. Free mental health. People say, oh, Rita, you're getting free this and free that. No, I'm not. Literally. If you want to know my situation, I'll tell you. You just got to ask. But people think I'm a freeloading bum. My thing is I don't get free rent. I pay my rent. I get subsidized rent, but still, the rents, we're already paying 2/3 the rent here for this place anyway. So to us, government's only paying 1/3. There's people in this building getting fucking complete zero payment. There's people that are fucking scamming the doctors to get fucking a wheelchair. And they're sitting here bragging how they conned it. Now they're getting a letter so they can keep their 2-bedroom because they have a wheelchair. I mean, there's loopholes like this. I know that. Everyone knows that if they know what to look for. Problem is the economy is hurting. People aren't working. The United States gave up their productions and sent everything overseas. We used to make jeans. We used to make clothes. We used to make everything. We were self-sufficient. But then Republicans and Democrats thought it'd be better for the company to send our stuff overseas to buy it cheaper. We send our cotton, we send our materials there. What happens? We get screwed. Now look, who's hurting who? Plain and simple. Think about it. Think about it. There will be a financial collapse. We know this. There won't be World War III. Financial collapse means there won't be banking services. There won't be people collecting groceries. Grocery stores will not be processing payments. But people are more worried about World War III, which won't happen. And that's because it was manufactured to keep people from worrying. Let me tell you what I think and what God thinks. As long as you manufacture a lie that drum up the base will be worried about it. What's it doing for people? Well, let me ask you this. What is it really truly doing for people? Panic buyers are buying groceries by the droves, raising prices because they're worried about the economic collapse, which could happen because the Democrats and Republicans and independents don't know how to handle this country. And then you got like people like GG saying, well, the Republicans aren't going to vote this election. Well, if they don't, they don't. Not my problem. My problem is you're sitting there watching YouTube vids with people talking about prepping, which is true. You got to prep because the financial collapse. Medications are coming from China and et cetera, and everything else, which you got to prep. But to sit there and have a double whammy with World War III's coming, wake up and smell what you're shoveling because think of the lie. I mean, literally. We'll know ahead of time if the nuclear weapons were going to be used. We'd have a warning system in place. We do. Thing is, you shouldn't be worried because you're one person. You can't worry. One person cannot sit there. One person sits there and says, oh, I can't do anything, so I'm going to sit back and prep. Another person sitting there getting gray hair worried about the financial collapse and the meltdown in the U.S. banking system and the world banking system and the reserve currency and they're worried about World War III. You're one person. You're only giving yourself gray hair. Don't worry about it. Take a break. Relax. Go outside. See the world. See what's going on in the world. The world is a big place. I was walking along yesterday. Pee-wee's probably watching this anyways and listening while she cleans. I was minding my own business outside. I actually packed my pipe up last night. God told me to take a walk. So I packed my pipe up and I smoked a couple of pipes. Forgot my purse. Chloe went and got it. Then I said, where's my debit card? Chloe went back and got that. Smoked a third pipe. While sitting there outside watching cars come and go. Thinking I should have brought my scanner with me. But cars coming and going. I took a walk. Ferry line's packed. Tourists are all over the place. Tourists calling 911 when I'm in the store because there's a dog in the store. Moppy's a service dog. People are so belittled about these little fucking petty problems that they're not thinking about it. And I went through the grocery store and it was completely full. Prices were down too. There were sales on almost 95% of everything in the main grocery store I went to, the one that's not for tourists. I didn't go to the other one because by the time I got done, I was like getting hungry. And I was thinking of those chicken sausages I bought, thinking they might be tasty. Instead, turned out to be garbage. You're going to make a brat or a sausage. You make it tasty. See, that is something that I could literally worry about for a second. Non-tasty food. But then you got people worried about the fucking great. So someone tried to call. So Google Voice. So someone left me a voicemail to something that doesn't even apply to me because I don't know someone named Brad, and I surely don't know a lady named Susan. So my Google Voice just came up with it. See, things that I have to deal with. It just came up. Okay. Basically, people are making a living. Okay, making a living off of your fears. They'll make everything. Okay. Let me just put it this way. There's a guy, right, that me and Pee Wee like. He's a prepper. Here in, I don't know what state. She knows which one it is. Let's just say boots on the ground. He goes and he gets all these notes from all over the world. Pricing, right? Oh, pricing's high here. Pricing in Canada. Pricing in gas and pricing in the steel and shortages, right? But when my dad, father-in-law, drove around one day after church to all the stores that he was talking about in one of his videos in Ohio, in his area. He went to like North Olmsted. He went to Lakewood. He went to Rocky River. He went to Cleveland. He went to most of the suburbs of Cleveland. You know what he found? No food shortages. Prices are high, but no food shortages. Frozen foods always stocked. The dad even watched the video too to confirm. He said this guy is living on fear, and that's the truth. He's sitting there saying, "Oh, you know what?" He also sells his own prepping gear. I'm sorry to say, but you either trust the guy that tells you with the almost 500,000 subscribers, or you look at it as he's doing this as a living. He's at home all the time. But if you have money, sell some and get some land. Blah blah blah. There's like 3 people saying that. Problem is, some people don't have money for land. Other people are watching themselves spend their money like crazy for what? I mean, look, God told me to tell you, the only thing you got to worry about is if you prep is rotate your food out, buy fresh food, and eat the old food so it doesn't go expired. Otherwise, you are fine and dandy to live comfortably in your world. Thing is, we're not going to have World War III, and these people that are doing World War III, they found a new way to make a living. Sucking up your fears. You fear World War III and you believe it? You just made that guy a nickel for watching his video. You want to know why I don't get the subscriber base? Because I tell the freaking truth to the point that no one wants to listen to me. The preppers know that if people listen to me, they'd have more pocket money in their pocket and less money listening to them, and they would lose revenue. Plain and simple. That's the truth. People sit there like the beautiful transgender woman, like, oh yeah, everyone that's a pass need to go and use the men's room. The people, I mean, literally, these people are freaking living in fears, drumming up support, drumming up what they want. You got to listen. We're not going to have World War III. We don't need to stop prepping either. And 2 is we need to worry about the financial collapse, plain and simple. And while we're worried about the financial collapse, you need to ask yourself the truth. And the truth is, World War III is not going to happen. Not in our lifetime. 2, only way it's going to happen is we run out of oil. China knows that their oil levels are so low that they could suck up every piece of oil and they can still manufacture stuff. But they're more likely stopping the rest of the country from using them for low labor because there's not enough resources in this planet left. Wealthy people like Bezos and Gates and Musk, they're buying up farmland and the water rights. Think of it. They're buying up the water. China's already owns 50% of our farmland. You got to ask yourself. You need to ask yourself. Think about it. Use common sense. When you sit there and you're like, crap might hit the fan, crap might not hit the fan. Well, let me just tell you a story, too. Talking about government and trust and stuff. Pee Wee and I always talk about, can you trust the government? No. The government has spent $250 billion, $250 billion of your taxpayers to get everyone in the country to go digital instead of analog signal for the radios. If you go and take the grant, you have to go 100% encryption. The other day, I was talking to Zoe last night, and I looked up her county, Cooks County, Chicago, encrypted. Fire department, encrypted. Police, encrypted. Federal law enforcement, encrypted. You can't listen. Right there it says you cannot listen, and if you try and you break the encryption code, it's a federal offense. Think about it, a federal offense. The government claims transparency and oversight. Now, where's the transparency and oversight? Think about it. Certain states, like 13 states, it's illegal to listen to a scanner in your car. 13 states apparently say it's illegal to have a scanner unless you get a license for it. Just like owning a gun. You got to go through the loopholes to get one. 13 states. That tells you right there, you know. So I told Zoe, you can also get a scanner for other entertainment purposes. You can buy an analog trunking scanner or an analog scanner, and you can listen to, if you're on the train lines, you can listen to mass transit, your transit system, buses, your trains, your trams, your trains, your like freight trains, your Amtrak. You can listen to that. They're all analog. They might not go digital for another 50 years. You can go and turn, if you're living near the airport, you can listen to everything from the control towers to the planes coming in. You can sit there and you can turn on your scanner, put in the air, you can have scan the air codes, right? You can hear military helicopters flying by here where we live, or the helicopter for flight, life flight, or whatever. I mean, think of it. They're still transparent, but most places, they're not transparent. So when you sit about there and say, oh, we need to prep, we need to think about it. The Department of Homeland Security is ordering everyone that takes a grant has to go full encryption. Think about it. You got to ask yourself, what's worse? World War III, which won't happen, or why the government's going fully freaking encrypted? I mean, literally, you could still use an analog $100 scanner, portable, to use for the weather, for other things. I mean, I'm not trying to say go buy a scanner. I'm saying if you're going to buy a scanner, think about it. Analog can work for most of your needs. There's a scanner out there that is called the Transpo scanner, right? It picks up NASCAR. It picks up the rails. You can use it as a rail fan. You could pick up the boats. So basically, a Transpo scanner is basically an analog scanner that analyzes and scans marine band, ham band, or ham radio band, AM and FM frequencies, NASCAR, military and non-mil spec planes, and commercial planes, marine band. Marine band. I mean, NASCAR, semi trucks, citizen band, anything that the scanner can do in analog is usually that. The ones that are going digital are mostly law enforcement that took the grant, and then it's encrypted. The ones that don't do and just do the digital trunking are doing it, giving transparency if you have a digital scanner. You see where I'm going with this? So some of the country is still basically being transparent. Think of where I live. They were being transparent yesterday by saying, yeah, we did a weapons raid, and yada, 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 and reading stuff. And, thing is, think of it, Whoops, that's not the one I was thinking of. Hold on. This one. Yeah, so, I'm trying to find the hold on a sec. All right, so here we go. I'll look up something real quick for you guys. All right, here we go. As long as there's no video, I will look this up. So basically, what I'm trying to say to you guys is, let me see. Basically, basic scanner can scan usually. All right, so here it is. Okay, the basic scanner you can buy currently that's portable will listen to aviation, marine, railroad, NASCAR, racing, non-digital, public, police, fire, and public safety. So you got 10 different things, including ham radio, right? You can also listen to ambulance, fire, weather, marine, aircraft, railroad, civil, air, amateur radio services, and racing events. So you basically, so the point is when you look at that, this here, that's literally basically saying what you need. See, so basically, as long as your area is not encrypted, and you're not basically getting, the government's not giving a grant to your county, you're fine to listen, pretty much. I mean, literally, the point is you got to be transparent, right? Secondly, the government needs to realize that people know what's going on. And so when someone sits there and says, oh, we got to worry about World War III, like I've seen videos all week of World War III, so I finally had to basically sit down and do it because I thought it was funny. Pee Wee's like, "Oh, you got to worry about it." Well, no, we don't. Thing is, people want to grow gray hair and worry about it. It's fine. Well, I'm one person. I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to give stress over World War III because it ain't gonna happen. Well, you need to worry about it. I'm not attacking Pee Wee at all. I love Pee Wee dearly. This video had to be made to basically reassure people that they're making a living off of it. If they can't make a living off of the recession and high gas prices and high food prices and high commodity prices, they're going to go and change things. In a couple months, World War III is going to die out for something else that's going to happen. They're going to construct and fabricate another man-made mental pandemic or mental, what's that word? Mental crisis. They're going to fabricate another crisis for you guys to mentally go and listen to some other jackboot that's making a living off you. When that can't make any more money, they'll change it again. This is what happens. First, think of it this way. First, it was stimulus checks. Oh, well, we're going to get another fourth stimulus, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. When that didn't happen, they had to come up with something else. But then they couldn't. They couldn't because at the time everything was going okay. Pee Wee and I used to talk about how the government censors things, right? They're censoring things. The other day, Pee Wee messaged me. I love Pee Wee dearly. She's a sister to me. She says, I don't like Facebook. Well, I don't either. Why do you think I don't use it, sis? Because frankly, Facebook sucks. They censored her from posting a link to something that was true because they want to basically control what you see on Facebook. That's why you don't do Facebook anymore. Instagram is usually the is videos and videos and sexy pictures and trans women going, oh God, look at my new implants, I'm so hot, guys, you want to stick it in me? That's all I see on Instagram. I don't see anything about it. I see a couple guys I know that fly fish. That's cool. But do you see me worrying? Oh no, so I don't use Instagram. Twitter is basically right now basically censoring everything too. Excuse me for a second. I do got to use the restroom. I've been holding it in. So give me a second. I'll be right back. $100 a month for 12 months. So, there, I did a math for you. Sorry for the delay, people. I couldn't hold it much longer. So, basically, the bottom line is simple, okay? Is, is, um, oh, well, here's something new. Let's talk about this. As part of the voters' fears, okay? So, we're talking, like I said, this just came over the wire, so let me read it to you. State lawmakers across the USA have introduced at least 162 bills targeting LGBTQ Americans this year through July 1st. Slew of bills is 35 states, 27 which have legislation controlled by Republicans. See, this is another reason why Republicans are going to lose in the midterms. There's 4+ million LGBTQ. There's like 4 million transgendered people, including cross-dressers, transgendered, transvestites, cross-dressers, intersex people, transsexuals, etc. 162 bills, 151 being considered, and 76 considered. Okay, so what do we get this? Well, what are these bills? Many of them didn't get passed. 21 did. Fairness in women's athletic and called for greater potential parental oversight. Okay, that's fine. They've also said that children should make major decisions about their health at a young age, arguing bans of gender-affirming health care are necessary to defend such action. Well, that's what they want. Let them do it. Participation in same-gender sports. All right, so they want to ban that. All right. Is there anything else? School and curriculum restrictions in classrooms. Well, that's what they floats their boat. Let them. Students' preferred pronouns. 21 states have introduced more than 24 bills that block access to gender-affirming care for minors. And now you got the transgendered people and the doctors and all these people and their votes. So you got 4 million transgender people and then their families and stuff. And, there's lesbians out there that don't want their kid to undergo a sex change at the age of 4. So, it's a mixed bag there. But gender affirming care is medically necessary by the current administration, by the way, for children and adults with gender dysphoria. But there's a lot of people that's faking it. Do you know borderlines are not don't know what they want? Think about it. There's a lot of transgendered people that claim they're transgender and have borderline. So I just want to tell you that. American Psychiatric Association says it's a psychological distress that may result in gender identity, sex sign of birth do not lie. No, that's true, but also, I think that there is a lot of mental illness resulting in it. But you also got to do some soul searching to see who you are and what you are. Me, I was born both, so technically I consider myself a woman and exempt. So So basically, there's full ban on gender affirming healthcare. Alabama and Maryland bans on being illegal for physicians. Those states provide such care to trans youths 18 and over. Oh, you see? Oh yeah, see, the reason is simple and common sense by the Arizona governor. See, Chloe was talking about this the other day. So basically, what it is they're worried about the population of a man, white man, and so what they're doing is they're saying no, you can't have it because we want you to be a biological father or a biological mother. You can't have a sex change. Basically, it says this decision will dramatically affect the rest of your individual's life, including the ability of individual to become a biological parent later in life. So basically, they're looking at you as a baby factory. Again, if Gigi was here, Gigi would probably weigh in on his bullshit, again. Then Texas says it's child abuse. And it's to me, I think it is child abuse to a point. But at the same time, we shouldn't have someone who's basically passing better than this, which one doctor is a trans doctor said, "Oh well," and that does the surgery. He said, "Oh well, we need to make them pass so they can." Thing is, that's pure deceiving. So that's the thing. That's where I draw the line. Deception. Dramatic life, and you do know the numbers are 78% suicide 5 years after surgery. Whether you were born intersex, whether you're born intersex people, usually 99% of them recover and they're fine. Whereas the ones that were born with XY or XX chromosomes usually have a higher suicide risk within the 5 years. And usually they do it too. See, they're trying to gym up support yet right now. They're basically saying women's rights don't matter, trans rights don't matter, LGBT rights don't matter. And this is where they're saying it is basically blowing up in their freaking face to do a blue wave. And then there's religious exemption bills in South Carolina and Indiana for adoption. So basically, what they're doing is again, they're trying to, they're So basically, they're trying to do all these protections, and yet at the same time, you, the taxpayers, has got to pay for it. And by the way, I saw it the other day. I was watching something called Steven Crowder, right? Great, great, great show, Louder Crowder, and they showed a picture on Twitter where they show the second in command of the Health and Human Services, Admiral Levine, 4-star admiral, transgender, looking like a man wearing an admiral's uniform with dress and brown pantyhose and new shoes. And I looked at it like, oh my God, that's a man in a dress. Pretty much. So this is the crap that we got to put up with. And I'm not talking about me in general. I'm talking about everything I'm seeing is basically fear tactics. They're trying to revitalize their base, but a lot of Republican women are not going for the bullshit on their rights don't matter. So they're basically going full steam. But if they can't control the women's rights and the blue wave does happen, then they might even try to put in places where men can't get vasectomies, men can't get orchiectomies, get rid of their balls so they can't get women pregnant. Then it's again a population where they want to be the supreme being and race, which means they're trying to do what they can to keep the population heavy. But the problem is in this country is we don't have enough resources to sustain these people. That's the truth. That's why Pee Wee made the joke, calling, which is a joke to me because I like the term worthless eaters. And when you look at it, they think anyone who's a worthless eater shouldn't live. Well, here's the deal. the worthless eaters do have problems. Fortunately, we're also giving the worthless eaters free internet, free phone, free electricity. Thing is this isn't about what state's going to secede or what's going to happen. This is like, are we going to World War III? No. Again, why not? Because we don't have any fucking resources. 50% of our land and farmland is China's. And we have no oil. We're fracking our oil right now, trying to pull up everything that's up on the surface because that's all we do. Our oil wells are dry. And in Texas, if we have oil, right, in Texas, hypothetically, my family won't confirm or deny this because I'm not going to go look it up. They should just email me and say this would be a perfect topic on video. Is if we have oil in Texas, where the fuck is our oil? That's the truth. Where the fuck is it? Why are we not fucking using our oil for our own people? Instead, we're shipping our oil overseas to get other crap. And in return, they're sending us garbage. But because we don't know what's going to happen for the future, whether the collapse of the economy, there is no World War III. I mean, look, right there, the Republicans literally said, and I quote, in this thing about the anti-LGBT bill, we want to do it so we got to make people genetic men so they can basically birth children, whether you're retarded, whether you're autistic, whether you're dumb, blind, stupid, we want more offspring so we can be the majority again. Thing is, this country can't sustain itself. If every 2 years people are freaking trading up their phones, the old phones should be stripped down. Instead, what are they doing? They're stripping them down, cleaning them, putting them back together, and sending them overseas for poorer countries like African countries or Filipino or Asian countries that are poor to buy our used phones, refurbished phones at a discount. So the phone companies go and do an upgrade. Then you get the upgrade and you're paying more. And then they ship your phone off to another place where they literally refurbish them, reprogram them, and send them off to another country for another 2 to 3 years. And when those phones get outdated for these poor countries, they can turn around and refurbish them again and again until the phones are outdated to the point where every country got their grubby hands on it and every country used it. Meanwhile, I mean, literally, people are upgrading their computers every year. People are buying new computers every year. People are sitting there going, computer shortages because every year kids got to have new computer school. And guess what's happening? Computer chip shortage, RAM shortage, video chip shortage. So many things, so many times, so many places. And yet, if they could recycle and refurbish phones and electronics, then why didn't we recycle and refurbish cassette players and TVs? If in case a problem arises, the government should have said, and I quote, you're going to have your Sony Watchman, definitely Watchman, had to do the Rain Man, definitely Watchman, and you could use it as a backup because, we're in the, it said they forced everyone back then to buy a digital converter box of 3 and gave coupons for it. The government paid to switch to digital. And then if you want a digital TV, you got to buy a digital portable TV. Currently, I can buy them for like $100 for prepping purposes, right? This is part of the prepping thing I want to tell you tool-wise. But you can only use it if your portable TV sitting on your desk with the extended antenna stuck out, picking up the local channels, which is crystal clear. But here's the kicker, picking up the local channels. You can't move the TV. So say you got to go flee in the woods and take your little TV with you, and you got to tote a 30-pound generator, and you got your TV charging, right? And you're using it to listen to the news of a nuclear fallout or winter, right? Wouldn't matter. Because usually if there is a nuclear winter, we wouldn't have television service. Wouldn't matter. So even if the TV is there for, say, local news, you'd be hearing like, the local news. I mean, literally. And by the way, has anyone ever noticed on a scanner that a base analog scanner will pick up, quote unquote, ham radios? You can listen to ham traffic, right? You'll know exactly what's going on in the world, right? But has anyone realized on a scanner that none of these dipshits have put in a program where there's an emergency band just specifically for the scanner users to listen to what's going on if there's a nuclear fallout or an earthquake or whatever. No, you got to listen to the analog channels if the police have it non-encrypted and you can listen in, you can understand. I mean, we live in an area where they say if, and Chloe knows this too, if Seattle, and there's like 3 faults in Seattle. If 1 to 3 of those faults ever erupted, right? We're high enough up. Chloe knows we're safe. Even the sheriff said this. But the ferry terminal and all downtown Friday Harbor would be underwater because 50-foot tsunamis plus would be basically rolling in him. So think of it. There's no emergency ban for emergency things. And the NOAA weather doesn't say, there is a tsunami warning. Please be on higher ground. They don't say that. Think of it that way. Excuse me while I go tinkle again. Think of it that way. So I want you to be prepped as best as possible. But no. They're talking about the younger 18 and unders. The Republicans are pushing for 18 and unders to, and I'll explain it in a second, okay? I'll give an example.
Pass law requiring everyone must have sex once a week.
That's funny. I would do it.
You realize that was the base area law of race?
Yeah, well, the thing is I'll get to that in a minute, Chloe. Alright? So Chloe is sitting here and she's like, there could be, if they pass a law that everyone has to have sex once a week, that's probably only the ones that can actually parent children, okay? People like me can't parent children unless I want to, right? So anyways, the bottom line is this, okay? There's people out there transitioning before 18. The past is very better than most people, right? They're like, oh yeah, I'm a real woman. I got all this surgery, stuff. Those are the ones they're targeting. They're targeting these young people that they think, like BW and other beautiful transgendered women out there, that they want them to be men. They want them to be men. They want them to have the penis. They want to have them be a father. They don't want a man becoming a woman because to them, it's part of the communist apparatus. So what they're trying to do is basically make this non-communist. That's the truth. Thing is that they want to make it so they can literally sit there. And by the way, I heard this guy today, by the way, talking about World War III for a second again, talking about draft. I looked up the draft. The draft's been dissolved. They're not going to reiterate the draft. The only reason they would do the draft is if there's not enough people that want to join the military. No one does. No one wants to spend 6 months on an aircraft carrier or 12 months or 18 months on a submarine. I mean, think of it. They might get good pay, but they're away from their families. They also know that they might die. They also know that the modern technologies and nuclear weapons could be used. And, well, you get the idea. So, no one wants to join. So, if they're going to do the draft, I'll let you know when I talk to God. But the point being is World War III is not going to freaking happen. They're going to literally live on people's income. They're living on your fears. Just like the Republicans are living on fueling the Democratic fears to their base. The Democrats are fueling the Republicans' fears for their base, whether it be Roe versus Wade, whether it be transgendered rights, whether it be whatever. But then again, look what Biden just did. He just extended food stamps 3 months, which means that goes up to 5 months, which means 5 months from right now is Christmas time. Think of it that way. By then, as I said, there is going to be, by God's own words, frankly, right now, unless he changes his tune, a blue wave. And there is no World War III because, as God said, this video needs to be done as well. So, no World War III. There will be a financial collapse of the countries of the world financially in the banks because China's not producing anything. But then again, China's probably holding out for whatever reason. And think of it, China's the only one buying Russian oil. We just got a deal for Arabian or Middle Eastern oil. So we're basically going to be supporting the Middle Eastern countries thanks to Biden. But as long as the oil prices go down before the election and they can keep it down, people aren't going to be complaining about oil prices or food pricing because the people will be seeing their stores still stocked because prices are going down due to the fact that supposedly old man Grouch got a deal on oil. I mean, literally, look at it from the point of view, okay? Plain and simple. We're not going to have World War III. We're going to have a financial collapse of the world's financial system, which means you got to prep still. Whether you prep with your portable TV, with your scanner, with your food, just do your food prepping and your equipment prepping. Do not worry about World War III. And nothing's going to happen. I mean, look, some jackboot said 13 days ago that in 6 days there was going to be nuclear weapons used. And he's a prepper with what, 300,000 subscribers who basically I'm calling bullshit out. That's one thing I was saying is literally the bullshit has been called out. Plain and simple. And now we got a new commenter. So let me look. Think you're wrong. Actually, I'm completely right about everything, sir. That's why I have very few subscribers, because I know exactly what the fuck's going on. I'm the prophet. And God already told me in the last election, Biden was going to win. In this election, we're going to have a blue wave, and God's already told me. So, frankly, you don't know what you're talking about. A lot of these people know what I'm talking about. Most of my subscribers that do subscribe to me, that subscribe, know what's going on. They know exactly what's going on. That's why they trust me. That's why once in a while I get gifts from my subscribers. So technically, I've not been wrong yet. And when I am, I will eat crow. But right now, the good Lord is basically saying there is no World War III. And if you're a Republican believing this bullshit lie, then you can buy into the lie, because frankly, I don't care. I know what's going on. I see it. I've seen many things. Grocery stores in blue states, full, by the way. I went to the grocery store yesterday after a year being holed up here. What did I find? 95% of stuff stockpiled in the stores. Oh, and not to mention lower pricing on everything. And I went down to the local gas station and found out the price of fuel was cheaper by 98 cents a gallon. Diesel was like $1.07 lower. Tells you right there what you need to know. Buying into the people's fears, I don't fear anything, and I'm not worried about it, because frankly, I'm one person. I can't make this difference. But my subscribers believe, and that's the main thing. It's just like I said last night. Last night, peeps. Literally, there is a nationwide and a statewide database of anyone and everyone who owns a gun. They literally called up the database last night on the scanner. Literally. While they were doing a weapons raid for whatever reason. They didn't explain why they took it away. Maybe the guy had a restraining order, or maybe the guy tried to kill someone. Maybe he tried to kill himself. Maybe it was a temporary IDA. No one knows. IDA being Involuntary Treatment Act. But you get the idea. They didn't explain why they did the weapons raid. They just basically blurted out the serial numbers of all these weapons on the scanner, and then turned around and asked the dispatcher to run it through the national and state local gun database. That tells you right there the Republicans are lying when they say there is no database. Bullshit. I heard it last night. I also heard a little kid who was under 12 years old started to start a fire in a park. Tells you right there we're living in times where this information is more crucial to my subscribers than anything. I may have not 10,000 or 100,000 or 500,000, but last night, a lot of the people that was with me last night, like moderator Gigi, aka Zoe, Higgins, old boy, we were all chuckling about the call about the fire and the little kid. We're all chuckling about street stops, traffic stops from states other than Washington, Colorado and Oregon and Alaska. And We get a lot of tourists. And, you know, some of them got infractions, some of them didn't. They even had things like people that refused to blow a breathalyzer, and he can't drink. Drinking is not allowed on the probation and all this crap. I mean, literally, it's just an entertainment tool. But at the same time, we have to prep for the worst, and that is why I'm saying the financial collapse is more important right now than worrying about anything else. Because look, Biden just extended through the Pandemic Emergency Fund just yesterday. Food stamps will be extended another 3 months, which means free internet for people, free cell phones, and free rent. Not to mention free electricity, garbage, water, sewer at times. And Mitch McConnell said, if we take away all this, people would go back to work. Let's see, 3 months plus they got to give 60 days notice if they're canceling, which means a 60-day extension. 5 months, that means Christmas. And therefore, the numbers say they've just bought the election. So who's right and who's wrong? There's going to be a blue wave. I guarantee it, and it's not going to look pretty. And remember what I said. I also blame both parties because each party's vying for control. Each party is not going to do anything properly, and each party is not for the people. Think of it. Think of it. And besides, World War III happened or Civil War happened in this country, all we got to do is drop a nuke. Literally, if there's a civil war, all the fucking government's got to do is drop a tactical nuke on wherever the biggest concentration of rebellious people for civil war, and done. There's no way to win with this country with nukes. Think about it. So, am I right? Am I wrong? Like I said to Gigi and Pee-wee and Higgins and Chris and most of my moderating team, I said shit was going to hit the fan when Roe versus Wade was overturned. And it was. Literally, the voters are basically now saying that women are second-class citizens. And then they basically fueled the fire, the fears for the Democrat side that if we don't vote and force 4 million plus LGBTs, which I could care less, are now going to vote because they think their free sex changes and their transition care and their children's transition care and all this crap is going to be taken away. I don't care if it's taken away. My thing is I sat back and said, let's wait and see what happens. Now, if Roe versus Wade was overturned and we didn't have the problems we did, there's no problems. I would sit there and say, okay. But the way I said it to all my subscribers is wait and see. Watch the fireworks. Gigi said it best herself. We didn't anticipate the fucking pissed off women who were pissed off thinking their rights are being taken away. Now, the Republicans are blatantly saying on mainstream media that they need children that shouldn't be transitioning, which they shouldn't. I agree with that. That they want to use them so they can be biological fathers because our population is going down in population control. We're losing whites. Now, what happens if they enforce abortion? They don't enforce. They arrest people for having abortions. Jails are going to fill up. We're going to have to build more jails. But here's the kicker. The ones that are going to hurt the most for abortions, that can't have abortions, are the poor, Hispanic, and black people. That means the Hispanic black people are going to go through the roof. The whites, we're not going to ever compete anymore because they're going to be breeding like jackrabbits because they can't. They're going to be forced. And then when they do force it, guess what's going to happen? They're going to turn around and say, well, you wouldn't let me have an abortion, so the government's going to have to pay for my kid. And there's where the welfare chain goes up the ladder, where people start getting more and more food stamps, free housing, free internet, free phones, free whatever. Think of it. It's going to happen. It's coming down the pipe. Pee-wee and me both know this already. It's coming down the pipe. Zoe knows it. Chris knows it. Higgins, old boy, knows it. Everyone knows it. Yet, people want to sit here and belittle me because, the subscriber base is low. No, the reason no one likes me is because I speak freaking truth. Truth hurts. Everyone knows the truth hurts. And the truth hurts to the point where there is no second guessing. That's the thing. I sat here in this command chair and said, look, when Roe versus Wade, there's going to be 2 outcomes, possibly 3. One is women are going to revolt and go to the polls, which they are. 2 is we're going to see a lot of crap hit the fan, which it did. Or 3 They're going to sweep it under the rug and accept it. They're not sweeping it under the rug. A lot of women don't want to be slaves, and a lot of women don't want to be property men. Plain and simple. Now, the trans women, I think, do want to be property men, but we won't go there, okay? But I know exactly what's going on at all given times. That's why I'm here. And that's why I've been telling you guys that right now the Republicans keep opening their damn mouths. Look, when Obama got in a long time ago, I did a 3-hour video on YouTube, or not YouTube, it was Facebook, and I said if the dumb shit would shut up and basically close his damn chili hole and listen to the people, which, by the way, I had thousands of views on the video. I said if they did that, quote unquote, the country would balance out, and it did. Thing is, people know that when I basically am speaking from A, analyzing everything, B, good Lord's delivering the message. Good Lord told me we were going to have an African American. Let me just tell you, I had an argument with him over and over and over until election night. Then I got drunk. Then I had to realize the truth hit the fan. My thing, you know. Not that I'm racist or anything. I just didn't think it was time. But during the Trump administration, no one was prepping. No one was worried about it. And then all of a sudden, when Biden was certified and everything else, people started prepping. People started sucking up everything that was nailed down. People were waiting for their stimulus checks. Some were buying TV. Some were buying everything. Stimulus checks ran out. I said, when they run out, we're going to have severe inflation and recession because no one's buying everything. The stores can't turn around and say, look, we're hurting. You need to give more. Instead, what's happening? Right now, the reports come in, my intel reports from my friends. No one wants to go back to work. They all want to work from home. They don't want to work in the office. They're afraid of the new variant. Oh, Dr. Fauci says, see, Dr. Fauci contradicts himself. First he says, oh, this one's a bad variant. If you're not vaccinated, you're going to be infected. I've been infected with every variant. So you know what? I don't give a shit. 2, it's mild symptoms. 3, he sits there and says, oh, people that have had every variant, like me, it'll affect me. The new variant will affect me more. But people that are boosted, the elderly and all these is boosted, that's boosted. But don't worry, you'll get another booster. Yeah, because the government's paying for the booster shots. Which, by the way, it does alter your DNA. So technically, if you want to say it doesn't, well, that's your business. Because frankly, it does. Excuse me one second. So the bottom line is, I know what I'm talking about at all times. Oh, if you're going to the store, would you consider looking into the difference when it comes to a fridge of $13 compared to how much a Hungry Man costs? There's no difference in food quantities. Okay, so sorry about that, everyone. So basically, the bottom line is you can go and listen to any freaking dipshit out there that's making a living with 500 to 1 million subscribers. You can listen to the dipshits out there that are tranny that think that their rights matter more than a real woman's rights. Or you could sit here and listen to a true American who basically sits there and stands their ground and says, look, what you're being fed is bullshit. Plain and simple. The bullshit train is not leaving the station with me. Actually, the only crazy ass person is you. And by the way, I can ban you and remove you from my channel at any given time. I'm just warning you. And if I need to, I can call in a moderator to do it too. So let me see which moderator is available. Because if you want to tell me to F off, then I think you're freaking Joe Gill. So please, Joe Gill, leave my channel and quit using fake accounts. Oh, yeah, Higgins is out having his dinner with his mom. Oh, look, there's a crossdresser. All right, let me see which moderator is available. I might just go into the control panel anyways, remove the son of a bitch, because people like him, you know what? I think I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let him basically keep insulting. And if he keeps insulting, I'll just let it build up until a moderator comes in it. Because, the moderator can do that because I think it'll be funny. But the thing is, and they want to tell me to F off, the point is this person here is bitter. That's all it is. It's just bitter. Because they can't cope with the fact that the truth is being told to them. They're like the millions of people that don't want to believe the truth right in front of them. They just want to basically believe what they believe, how they believe, etc., etc. Yep. So anyways, that's how I see it. And you want to say I'm a man. I have 3 X's and 1 Y for chromosome. That means I'm 50-50. So technically, take a pick. Because frankly, the only thing I see is a dipshit who wants to insult me on my own channel when I'm telling the truth. So, where was I, people? This has been a really good, interesting video, actually. You see, because frankly, as I said, there is going to be a blue wave. Plain and simple. Now, things can change between now and election time. Trust me. That's why I'm sitting here prepping you for the worst case scenario. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they could do an EMP. They could wipe out our bank records. They could wipe out our housing records. They can do anything they want between now and election. And have someone say World War III? No, there is no World War III. There is never going to be World War III in our time. And because of it, it is what it is. So, excuse me. Let me see here. So basically, I'm not attacking anyone who believes it. I'm just saying it's a bunch of BS because, frankly, it's not going to happen. Not that we know of, and until God tells me more details so far, there's nothing. Name up. How you doing? I got a Shih Tzu, by the way. I love dearly. So that's one thing I truly love is my service dog. And I have a bunny, by the way. I just threw him a toilet paper core. He likes to chew on them. They're like little toys. And he's already chewing up half his paper towel rolls. So, Anywho. Where was I? Yeah, I'm just... Well, please leave and don't come back because, frankly, we don't need you. And because you want to insult me, I am thinking of banning you just because you're the crazy one. Plain and simple. I don't see myself crazy. I see you being crazy. And you come onto my channel and you insult me, well, guess what? I think you're insane. And I'm going to fix that too. So here we go. I'm going to go and block the son of a bitch. There you go. Hide user on this channel. And now we don't have to see this person. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Toodles. And don't write again. So fix that crazy son of a bitch so he's not here anymore. So basically, listen to me carefully, okay? We're not going to have World War III. Everyone out there is literally making a living off of you, living off your fear. That's the truth. I mean, if you look at it from the point of view that I see it and God sees it, you're basically just throwing your life away, getting gray hair. I mean, I don't worry about World War III. That doesn't even play into my playbook because my playbook says it is not going to happen. And God knows it's not. No one's going to drop nukes on everyone. If God wants nuclear war, he'd wipe out everyone. Then who's going to be left to repopulate the planet? You see where I'm going with this? So, bye-bye, dumbass, and don't come back. See, I got rid of him because we have to. Now, if Pee-wee was here, we would have gotten rid of him anyways because, basically you don't call the boss crazy because as Pee-wee knows, I'm not crazy. What I know is what I know. And I think one of the things I think Pee-wee's worried about right now is the blue wave. Pee-wee knows if it's happening, Pee-wee knows that it could happen. So she's prepping for that part too. I think she's more prepping for a blue wave and the shock and awe again. Because everyone needs to hear the story once more, okay? So during Biden, before you chose Kamala Harris, I said out loud here on this channel while we're talking about stimulus, Kamala Harris will be chosen and Kamala Harris will be vice president. I had probably 3 or 4 dozen moderators with me at the time saying, no, you're wrong. Then when he chose Kamala Harris, they said, okay, you got that right, but he won't win. When he won, the only thing I heard was for like 6 weeks is the election was rigged. Then I heard I'm taking a break. A lot of people said we're taking breaks because you're completely dead right on the money. Dead right, meaning Biden was sworn in. Then people started prepping saying old man Biden's going to destroy this country. Well, let's raise it this way, okay? Well, let's break it down. And see, I'm smiling because I used my band stick myself today. Let's just say, as a woman, the bottom line is this. The government knows that if we had Donald Trump, we wouldn't be in a recession. We wouldn't have fuel prices. We might be helping Russia out, probably. No one knows if over Ukraine, but instead we had to help Ukraine out because, we want to help the opposite force. But with Biden, with Trump, I don't think we would have even seen Russia invade Ukraine. But I think Russia invaded Ukraine because Trump wasn't president to keep the peace. That's how I see it. But at the same time, so this guy turned around and told me I was full of shit. And then he couldn't handle the truth, so he left. And then I decided, Chloe, to ban the son of a bitch anyways.
Wow. Joe Gill.
Yeah, probably Joe Gill. He's like, oh, I'm full of crap. I'm a crazy white guy in a dress.
Oh, my goodness.
Do I look like a crazy white guy in a dress? Literally, I'm speaking the truth. There is not going to be World War III. Chloe even said it last night. She said, because we were talking about that video. Remember you and I on Boomy Night, we watched the video that Sister Pee Wee sent, where me and you chuckled about 6 days from now, we're going to have World War III and nuclear war?
Yeah.
By that Canadian prepper?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask Chloe this because I know she's on her way out, right? Canadian prepper guides. 13 days later, where's the nuclear winter? Where's the nuclear bombs?
He's full of shit. This is an example of those what you call those fearmongers. He's a fearmonger.
No, he's basically a guy that's living off everyone else's fear to make a living because he doesn't want to go to work. So he's found a new video format to do. Put fear into you guys. Let you spend all your money on his junk. By the way, he sells emergency prepping gear just like the other guy. And what do you get out of it? Literally.
I thought these type of people wouldn't believe a Canadian, but now they're believing this Canadian man.
Yeah, because he claims he has the intel. But I actually asked my higher ups. You know who I'm talking about. My boys. The one that calls me the boss.
Yeah.
Over on my special private channel. My 2 boys. Remember, they're the ones that came to me 2 days before Russia invaded Ukraine. Remember, I said Russia's going to invade Ukraine. Chloe says, oh, no, it's not going to happen. And 2 days later, she comes to me and she says, why is your, and she heard it on Discord at the time. She's like, how does your boys know? They're high intelligence officers. They know things we don't. So if I want to ask a question, I can get away with it. She's like, your boys knew exactly what was coming down the pipe. So, I asked them the other day, World War III, not going to happen. They said, we got to worry more about a financial collapse. It's draining the economy. And they said, the problem is, what's the only country that's holding out? China. China knows we got an oil shortage. China knows that we're going to run out of oil by 2067 or less if we keep using it. So China stopped production of computer chips and video chips and shipping stuff out slowly while trying to contain the newest variant of the coronavirus by locking everyone up. And yet, that is because China is the major superpower when it comes to production of our crap we buy. That's stalling the rest of the world into a free fall or freeze. It's basically the planet's frozen. Okay, instead of spinning, let's just say the planet's frozen. They're not distributing as fast enough because China ain't producing. Because China knows something's coming down the pipe. And they know it. And it ain't war. And then China knows we're going to be out of oil. So what's China doing? Well, until someone comes up with why this variant, this thing. And by the way, has anyone ever thought, by the way, the guy says I'm full of shit, right? Has anyone ever thought that China might have mass produced this variant, I'm going to say the full word, don't want to piss Chloe up. Coronavirus and its coronavirus variants. That if China knew that it could basically mutate over and over and over, then you got to wonder, if China made it, why is China in lockdown and not letting anyone go to work? Because they know each strain is going to get stronger and stronger and kill people and wipes population out. So maybe if they get basically staying under the Iron Curtain for 50 years while this virus, or 100 or 150 years while this virus runs rampant, killing people and getting stronger and killing people, getting stronger again and killing people. Think of where I'm going with this. They know what they created. They created the ultimate biological weapon. And then people say I'm full of shit.
Yeah,
but they don't read their news. Did you know Nixon and Secretary of State Harry Kissinger invented the AIDS virus to control population for blacks at the time? Mm-hmm. Go read about it. I'm not stupid and I'm well educated. So, the only one that's crazy is this guy here. So, let's see here. There we go. I blocked that son of a bitch. So, he can't post anything on any of my channel. So, $2 and don't come back. I don't want to see his comments anyways. He's a dipshit. Because he doesn't realize that as a prophet, if God has it planned like he's planning and prepping you for a blue wave. That's the first thing I'm telling you. Prepping you for a blue wave. And then once the blue wave is done, then you get the idea, right? And there's 3 people curious. So your best course of action is to prep. Make sure you grab what you can to survive. If you need to get a generator, buy a generator before they sell out. Generators are probably next on the market to be sucked up. I was telling that to Pee-wee the other day, I believe it was. They're going to start sucking them up at low cost. Inverter technology to power your computers. Then I would recommend trying to make sure you get your water filtration system. Get one that can basically filter at least 3,000 to 5,000 gallons of water or more. Second is always prep your dog food, your pet food, your medications, and so forth. I mean, we're going down the pipe to the point of no return. And yet, no one wants to think, World War III, these guys can't come up with recession anymore. I mean, literally, prices are going down in a lot of places. People are having sales. And so, you got to think about it. You sit there and you say, oh, well, it's not bad. It isn't bad, but it isn't great either. So, think about it. We all win if we prepare. We all lose if we don't do nothing. And we doubly lose if you all believe in the fears they're putting in it. I mean, it's fear tactics is what they're doing. Each party is doing fears. I want you to think about it. You sit there and you go to Fox News, OEN, whatever news channel. You believe the bullshit. But then you go to CNN, okay, for example, or mainstream media. I don't pay attention to that. I read the newspapers. Newspapers are bullshit. But I also read the news and I basically translate this as this is bullshit. It's fear tactics. The Democratic news channels are basically putting fear about what the Republicans are going to do. Republicans are putting fears what the Democrats are going to do. It's basically a war against the Republicans and Democrats. And if you get involved, you're going to basically be in the middle. Your best course of action is to cut yourself away from those two. Vote with your heart. And analyze stuff. I mean, literally, analyze it. Or are you going to stand around and be like, oh, we're going to war? Really? Damn, toilet's running again. What I'm trying to say is if you believe in God, put it in God's hands and not to worry about these rumors of war. The Bible says people are going to hear rumors of war and rumors of future wars. Don't worry about it. What you need to worry about is not getting any more gray hair than you already have. And two, trust your heart. Because if you want to believe the lies, then there's no way I can convince you. But I want you to think about it. During the Trump administration, no one prepped. During the Biden administration, everything's being sucked up. And why? It's because every Trumper thinks that the end of the world's near. You'll know when the end of the world is near. It's in the Bible. Right now, we're not at the biblical times. Plain and simple. And because of it, that's the point. Point is, keep prepping. Always keep prepping. Prep as your life depends on it. Prep to make sure you keep survival. When you buy food, make sure to test the food, but at least buy an extra serving so you can test it. So if you want to buy a case or 2 cases and go from there. I mean, literally look around. I mean, you sit there and say, oh, yeah, there's World War. Really? World War III. Okay, look. Now, I love everyone dearly, even that dipshit who insulted me. The only man I see in a dress is probably him, okay? I've talked to some of my moderators today on Instagram. Cactus Blossom said it ain't going to happen in our lifetime. Pretty much, it's basically they're putting fear into people. They're putting into fear to try to get the vote. Every 4 years, they do something. That's something, or 2 years, they want to do something. Okay, let me put it to you this way as an example. Every 4 years or 2 years, people go to the polls. They live in fear. I remember watching news with my grandmother in 1982. My grandfather was still alive. My step-grandfather, Jerry. And my uncles and my aunts and everyone sitting around with my grandmother at the dinner table. And Thanksgiving, Christmas, we had big family. We had probably grandma had over a feast for probably at least 50 to 100, probably more. Anyways, but back then it was good. We even had generators that be used, in case power outages and stuff. But here's the kicker. We always had big families back then. Now we're not allowed big families, right? Because big family gatherings is against the administration, right? Because of the pandemic. But think of it this way. Back in the day, in 82, when I remember watching TV with my grandmother in her bedroom, she said, Rita, in the future, you're going to realize they're playing fears on everyone, pitting fears against everyone. Every 2 to 4 years, they're talking about we need to raise taxes to pay for the welfare programs. Or we need to lower taxes for the rich. And, then people would get angry. And then they'd be like, well, we're going to take away these programs if we're elected in. And yada, yada, yada. We're going to, they're going to plan to take away your Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, and everything else. But what happens? Every 2 to 4 years, it's just common sense fear. If you can basically look at the fear, right? And say, oh, they're going to take away. Let's put it this way, okay? Well, let's use Pee Wee as an example, okay? I love Pee Wee dearly. Pee Wee hears, we're going to take away your Social Security. Pee Wee's paid into it for 40 years, right? 50 years. Older woman, beautiful, cute. She'd sit there and say, oh, I got to vote Democrat. That's a fear. The Democrats turn around and say, we're going to protect your Social Security. But it's a fear tactic. They always play the kick the can Social Security card every freaking 2 to 4 years. It doesn't get anywhere until the plan is, until Social Security runs out of money. Then they go, whoops. That's the plan. Plain and simple. It's easy. A blind man can see it from a mile away what they're planning. It's run out of money. Meanwhile, it's a fear tactic. Pee Wee can vote any way she wants, right? But the point is, Pee Wee and I know, and I'm using Pee Wee's again, they're not going to touch the Social Security. Republicans won't touch it. Democrats won't touch it. They're going to wait for it to run out of money. But think of other people. People sit there, old farts that are listening on the news, watching TV, and they hear Social Security is going to be touched. The old fart goes to the polls, votes Democrat. He voted out of fear. You got to have the big picture before you vote. That's all I'm saying. And when you get these people sitting here, you know. And by the way, let's just talk again about World War III. If World War III was going to happen, no, the old saying goes, if World War III happens in this world, the best course of action is bend over and kiss your sorry ass goodbye, because you can't be saved unless you have a concrete bunker. And then you better be hoping you're rich as Elon Musk or something to survive. However, has anyone ever did an experiment with what happens if you put rich people in with rich, beautiful women? They might breed like rabbits, and by the time they get out, there might be 150, 300, 500 new offsprings just by, I mean, you can put in one guy and like four kids and multiple women in there, or whatever in this bunker, and then breed like rabbits. I mean, no one knows. Oh, we might be the last people alive, so we better breed. I mean, literally, see where I'm going with this? I mean, you gotta think and realize what's going on in the world. Literally, the world is what it is, okay? You got transgendered people thinking their rights are more important than genetic women's. You got the LGBT basically pissed off too because the Republicans they got the fear bug. It's gonna be taken away. You know what? Unless the transgendered parents want to give their kids a sex change and put their kids in the newspaper saying my kid's being denied because they're trans, I don't give a crap. I mean, we have other things to worry about than the LGBT problems. We got recession, inflation, gas prices, and food. But if those go down before the election, which I'm calling it will, then what is the damn Republicans going to put fear into it? They only got two cards playing. If they can't play the recession, depression, gas card, or recession, inflation. Sorry, there is no depression unless we go the Great Depression again, which could happen if they decide that that's the only card they can play to collapse the entire banking system is a Great Depression, which could happen because companies can't get enough stocks right now to buy so they can keep their products going. And besides that, other companies, like I said, that refurbishing phones, sending it off to other countries to use. And then when those phones get updated, they send it off to the next set of countries. Eventually, the only thing they're refurbishing and wiping clean, which is an easy job, is the memory. And then they just put in a new battery, keep going. But eventually the batteries will run out because the polymer in the battery needs oil. And maybe the phone's Gorilla Glass needs oil. I mean, think of it from that perspective. I mean, literally, we're basically hurting to the point where we're not self-sufficient. So, and if my facts are wrong, guess what? That dipshit who left, I'll tell you what that dipshit happened, okay? Literally, I got an email from one of my friends who's a congressman here in Eastern Washington. China owns 50% of our farmland. 50%. It's right there in his newsletter. I emailed him and said, "Hey, Dan, buddy, Doc, what gives?" He says, "We're trying to pass a bill basically giving full command to the farmers." It's like Elon Musk and Elon Musk, Gates, and Bezos. They own a lot of our water rights and farming land themselves. Why do you think that? Because they know something's coming down the pipe that we don't know. Again, it's like the weapons raid last night where they're calling out the serial numbers of Rugers and Mossbergs and Satoris and other shotguns and handguns that I couldn't even believe hearing on a scanner. Hold on a second. So where was I, everyone? Oh yes, I'm feeling really peaceful today. So basically, besides brushing my hair a lot, gray hair and all. So basically, what I'm saying is, think about it from that perspective. People weren't prepping during Trump. People are prepping because of Biden. People are blaming Biden. The thing is, there's going to be a blue wave. God's basically given me the things. I mean, look, people were upset at me in 2020, and they had a reason for it. When they heard what I said, they all called me out on it. When it all came into fruition, they basically decided, okay. And then I said we're going to have a recession, inflationary period due to the fact that everyone spent their stimulus money, and now the stores can't make much. You see where I'm going with it? So then that happened. But it took a long while for it to happen because everything was balancing out. Then they decided to use the the extended such and such, for the extended such and such for the food stamps, and other programs for until after the election. And if they have to, they might use that for the next 2 years just to try to get the presidential election. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but they're going to do everything in the powers to keep the powers for the Democrats. Democrats are going to do that. Roe versus Wade, et cetera, et cetera. And so technically, it is what it is. And so when people sit there and say, well, you're wrong. No, I'm not. That's the problem. I mean, literally, it is not the problem. The problem is we have what we have. And that problem is what it is. You see, it's rumors. Everything is pretty much a rumor currently. So it is a rumor. So, plain and simple. It is a rumor. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So, there we go. I'll just go over to private chat so I don't have to see that damn dipshit. Hold on a second. All right. So, anyways, moderator Chloe's actually here, by the way. She's just looking over the information. Chloe's my roommate, so she's got moderator status too. So she's actually going through everything and, etc. So that's why there's 5 people watching. I'm over on the tab that says private chat. If you guys didn't know, due to the fact that I don't want to see this dipshit's comments. So, that's the thing. The guy wants to sit there and say I'm wrong. Well, guess what? I may be, but right now, it doesn't look like it. So today is a beautiful day. I'm on game for a couple hours, relax. I got a phone call to make around 5 hours and 51 minutes. So in between 5 hours, 51 minutes, I can charge my phone up and do some other stuff, In the meantime, Higgins is out doing his thing. I'll check the comments from time to time. Oh, I should let Zoe know I'm alive. She doesn't know that. Because I do want to leave soon. And Macabre was here yesterday. Mac should be here today. Ooh, look at this. Yeah, okay. All right, sorry about that. Moderator Zoe, I had to message her. Pee Wee, of course, Pee Wee knows when I speak with my heart. So, Pee Wee, I'm not trying to attack you or anything. I apologize if you think this is to you, but I've seen enough World War III videos lately to realize that it's mostly putting fear into people, as well as God told me to talk, because, World War III ain't going to happen. And even if so, if it happens, you just got to bend over, kiss your own sorry ass. Anyways, goodbye. And I'm not talking Pee Wee's ass. I'm talking about all our asses. So technically, the bottom line is, are we going to have World War III? No. Is it rumors? Yes. Prepping? Well, like I said, unless they can stabilize the financial markets, we're going to see a lot of crap happen and hit the floor, hit the, you know, hit the hit the, Hey, Mac, good to see you, brother or sister. So, let me ask you a question, Mac. What do you think of the dipshit? Hmm? What do you think of the dipshit, Mac? I mean, literally sits there and says, I don't know anything, right? Pee Wee this morning, as you know, Pee Wee Mac, turned around and gave me the information of this black guy's like, oh, he's hearing World War III happening. Well, 13 days ago, Pee Wee gave me a video, 14 days ago, about 2 weeks ago, that states, we're going to have nuclear war in 6 days by a Canadian prepper. So I took the liberty of contacting my buddies who are high enough up into the military intelligence community, and they said, that Canadian prepper is a dipshit, and the Southern prepper talked about Southern prepper for a minute. They said they can't say anything negative about Southern prepper except that his numbers are off, because what they're doing is they're putting fear into people. I mean, literally, look. My intel community people that I know have stated, Macabrie, literally that um, that if we did not have, quote unquote, Macabrie, anyone prepping, the food supplies would still be stable. But instead, so many people are prepping because of fear mongering that the food prepping is unstable. And by the way, Macabrie, if you want me to break down something for you, I'll tell you something interesting my intel guys said, my boys. My boys said, quote unquote, that the reason the grocery stores are basically running out of crap and they got to keep restocking, quote unquote, is the grocery stores fabricated a story to bring in more money through prepping. Think about it. Amazon, Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, all those places, they fabricated a story to put fear into people through the different channels. And then these people picked it up and started running with it, knowing that people would make a living too off of prepping. Same goes with the World War III. I mean, I don't know how many videos I watched in the last 10 days, probably a good 6 or 8 dozen videos talking about World War III coming tomorrow or the next day, and it doesn't happen. So you got to look at it from the analyzing point of view, Macabrie, of what's going to go on, Plain and simple. So what do you think of my breakdown of society? Give me your opinion, Mac. I mean, literally, I'm here for you guys anyways. What do you... give me your opinion, Macabrie, of the breakdown of society or of the current crisis. And 2, give me your opinion of the dipshit. I'll wait nicely since, but, the thing is, if you look at, while I'm waiting for your reply, let me just say, as I said earlier for Macabrie and the rest of you guys out there watching this, if you looked at the Trump administration, no one prepped. If you looked at the Obama administration, MREs and other things flew off the shelf. If you looked at the Bush administration, not many people prepped. If you looked at the Clinton administration, people prepped. If you looked at the Bush senior administration, no one prepped. If you looked at the Reagan administration, there was a little bit of prepping, but not much. The Contra scandal was the most. And then you go before that, people were prepping during the Carter administration. and then so forth and so on. So if you look all the way back, you see, you look at it, it's mostly a Republican thing. Well, thank you, Maccabree. I'm honored to know that you think I'm intelligent. I always thought I was a dipshit, but yeah. I mean, if you look at it, you heard me yesterday, right? The story is, God told me to go out because I was complaining to Chloe the other day. I said, Chloe, you're blind as hell, and Chloe's like, no, I'm not. Well, I went to the store yesterday, right, Mac? And I said I was looking for these, right? I was actually looking for these, Mac. Salisbury steak by Stouffer's. I want to try the Stouffer's brand. Oh, they don't have them. They don't have it. Well, you know what? The owner, or not the owner, the manager of the grocery store, good friends with her. I said, you aren't interested in seeing me. You're interested in Moppy. She had the evil grin, right? She turned to Chloe and said, look, if Rita sending you up for Stouffer's mac and cheese or Stouffer's Salisbury steak, I could have taken you down the aisle and showed you exactly where they are. You don't need to tell Rita on the phone that they don't carry it. She says, we're here to get help. We're here. We get paid to tell you where the item is, and we get paid to check you out. We get paid, So anyway, look at it. We get paid. You get the product you want. We get the money for the product that you're paying for that product. It's a win-win. Said Chloe's like, so, but anyways, thank you for saying that, Maccabree. It makes me feel good that, the thing is these people don't realize. I mean, look. The breakdown of society is simple. Basically, think of it this way, okay? You were around when the stim checks were around, right? You know damn good and well how many hobos out there, freeloading bums, would sit there. I've seen several channels during the stimulus debates turn around and say, you don't want to believe Harry Sky. We're going to get a sixth stimulus, a fifth stimulus, fourth stimulus. She's lying. She doesn't know anything. She's lying. Then all of a sudden, people would sit there and watch their older videos and say, well, it's been 6 months. We haven't seen stimulus check 4. She's right. Oh, no, she's wrong. We're still going to get it. Eventually, they had to do a full 360. 360, Maccabree. Literally to go and say, okay, I got to go and find a new scam to make money on YouTube because I don't want to work. So what do? Dink! Oh, yeah, we're going to be having a pandemic and stuff, and the pandemic's going to be worse. Well, the pandemic is worse, but we didn't know how bad it was going to be. But then they come up with, you need to vote because, they're going to take away your rights and yada, yada, yada. Oh, and the financial collapse. Financial collapse might be possible. I'm giving it about a 97% chance it will happen, Maccabree, due to the fact that China's not producing much and their employees are on life support. And the shipping is filling up our warehouses, right? Meanwhile, our people are moving the trucks to the warehouses as fast as possible. But what happens when those warehouses get empty, Maccabree? Then we're shizing out of luck. Or shiitake mushrooms out of luck. Then what happens? Honestly, we have nothing to buy. And with 50% of our farmlands owned by China, that basically hinders us. And then we're buying our grains from Ukraine and other countries, which will hinder us. And then, mind you, an African-American guy, seems like sweetheart, kind of cute, with a beard, states that we have oil in Texas. We produce oil in the Odessa region, right? I've never heard that, okay? I'll be Googling that tonight. But hypothetically, if we do, why are we sending our oil overseas if we have oil being produced in Texas, Nebraska, and other states like Alaska? Why are we basically not keeping our oil for ourselves? Instead, we're paying high prices because we owe other countries, so we're shipping our oil over to get goods and services. But what goods and services are we getting right now? Think about it. And then this Tyson Woolberg says, oh, I don't know anything. You're full of shit, really. I'm full of shit? So I bet Maccabree, since we're talking about that, Mr. Tyson or Mrs. Tyson would rather pay Miss Wahlberg. It's probably Mr. or Mrs. Wahlberg is probably literally sitting there wanting to pay a lot more money for their stuff. Yeah. Just so he or she can prep. And yet, like I said, Everything has been psychologically orchestrated or made up to screw people over. If stimulus checks ran out, Maccabree, which you know as well as I did, I forecasted that. Then what happens? They got to orchestrate something new. And look, all the way up to recently, Biden was okay, right? So what happens? They orchestrated other things like the collapse. Well, it could happen due to the fact that if you look at the collapse point of view of China not producing anything, we can't buy anything. What's good of is our money? The entire world can't get enough services. And then we got to look at every country in the world's economic base, which I will do if people want me to do that. It'll take me 4 or 5 days. And research every cropped, everything that they make themselves and compare it to what they can't make and what they bring in. And you'll be surprised that most 60 to 70% of the country, or the world, I should say, is living on some other country's products. And yet, we used to make TVs and radios and everything. What happened? We got greedy and selfish. We shipped overseas. Now we got to pay more because the companies think, right? So these things are psychologically made up in their head. But possible that we might have a breakdown of society due to the fact that it isn't Republican or Democratic based. It's Chinese based, basically, because frankly, China ain't sending us enough crap. And two is no one wants to work. So their version of we're going to quarantine at home, bring in everything. We get extended food stamps. We'll have Amazon, Target, Walmart, Schwann's deliver in. We won't leave our home unless it's medically necessary. See, I use the joke like the trannies, medically necessary. So we'll leave if it's medically necessary. Meanwhile, the American people are suffering. And because of it, Mitch McConnell's right. If they got off the freeloading status, we would be better off. But no, they all want their newfound lives of working at home. They find working at home is the best thing in the world. Best thing since sliced bread and gravy. I love Wag the Dog, yeah. I mean, literally, everything is orchestrated. I mean, literally. This person here, this African-American guy that looks cute, right? Maccabree said, oh, they want our oil and they want our farmland. Russia does. China owns 50% of our farmland, and the three wealthiest, biggest, wealthiest people in the world own farmland here and water rights. Do you think that they're going to get their farmland and water rights? No. Secondly, this guy says oh, they want our oil. What oil? The oil is basically being drilled up by fracking because we don't have enough oil left in this damn country. We have about 5 trillion barrels worldwide. 5 trillion. 5 trillion barrels. Okay, you want to talk about oil for a minute? I got to run and use the bathroom again. I think it's, hopefully I'm not getting diabetes. Anyways, I had a lot of water last night, but anyways, rehydrating. So basically, the oil is 5 trillion barrels. They say we'll run out by 2067. But they said that is not taking into account, Maccabree. The auto cars will make it run out in 2060. And that's not taking into account of every tire, standard tire takes 7 gallons of oil to make one tire. So think of those giant John Deere tractors that are 10, 12 feet high and have those huge wheels. Those are going to take hundreds of gallons to make, plus, right? So you got your oil being used for tires. You got your oil used for polymer based to make computer chips. You got oil being used for everyday products, plastic bottles, etc. Your plastic bottles don't come cheap, etc., right, Maccabree? So picture it this way. If you take the 2067, they've already shaved off 20 years because of tires and everyday household, right? So that's 2047. But then they said not taking account for propane, natural gas, heating oil. They say we're going to run out between 2030 and 2032. Think about it. Because everyone's sucking up the oil, right? Not to mention, Wires need oil, rubber wire, rubber hoses, rubber tires. Think of it. I just want you to think about it for a second. I'm going to use the bathroom again. Think about it. Everyone out there in the world is. There you go. So Chloe. Come on. Good boy. I'm not going to. I'm going to the woman who's going to walk me and take food. Okay. Here we go. Must be that coffee today. I don't know why I pinged so much today. That's the thing. Maybe I'm a little anxious to get to my game. I don't know. Okay, so basically, the point is I broke it down time and time again for you all, okay? Basically, as long as oil. Oh, by the way, Mac, I forgot to mention this oil problem, right? You can weigh in on it if you wish. So that is just 2032. They didn't take into account again, as they say, it could be less for jet fuel. The reason airlines are basically cramming people in and canceling and having problems is they know the fuel shortage is getting worse and worse. Not to mention, any ship that is not nuclear has to run on bunker oil, right? So you take cruise ships and airlines and private jets. What's going to happen when the oil runs out? Let's see. Have they made an airplane yet that runs on batteries? Oh, it could be done, but they don't know the ramifications of planes running batteries, which run jet engines. I can do the turbines, the powerful enough. You'd have the power, which means half the plane would probably be needing to be a battery. So you're living in a casket if the plane ever explodes. While on fire with the battery explodes, leaving acid everywhere, and then we all get vaporized anyways because of acid. So think of what's going to happen to that. And then the guy calls me a dipshit. Yeah. I'm like, what do you think now? Wag the Dog. That movie was great. Wag the Dog. I mean, they're orchestrating so much fear, It's, yeah. I've always wanted. I also like primary colors, but, yeah, some of them are rentals. So basically, I'm just waiting for Macabrie, everyone. I'll grab a pinch. You guys understand, Macabrie understands completely, See, I don't even focus on much of the news anymore, going through the news feed. There isn't anything, My point is, and that's one thing that my subscribers like is, my analyzing and breaking down these things. Macabrie probably appreciates it from his or her comment. Are you male or female, Mac? I don't remember. But anyway, Gigi loves it. Gigi says, "Oh, you're loved by many." Well, you know what? I appreciate that comment about love because, funny how my screen didn't blow up yet, And this guy was saying we're gonna have a Red Dawn situation. Have you ever watched Red Dawn? We're not gonna have Korea or Russia invade us. How would you reach it there? Fine. Anyways, I'm just checking on, So, anyways, I'm waiting for Macabree's answer, But yeah, the point is, yeah, it's a political one. You got to rent it for $3.99. Can't find it anywhere that I can see. However, I'm gonna look and see if Amazon's got the copyright on the two of the movie primary colors and Wag the Dog. Because Wag the Dog would be perfect to watch tonight. Problem is I have to rent for $3.99, and I really don't want to do something. So let's look real quick while we wait for Mac's answer. There we go, Wag the Dog. Alright, so to watch Wag the Dog, I got paid money for it. So anyway, to look at it. And then the other one is primary colors. I haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah, so they're both rentals. See, I'm very skeptical. I should have my scanner on, but I'm more interested in getting this news thing done. So my question. Okay, my question was to you was we were talking about that dipshit that I blocked. Do you understand, as what I said, about the breakdown of the oil crisis, too? Why we're running out of oil as well. And that could cause other things. And do you understand what I'm saying in breaking down China and, the manufacturing of these mental crises, where people like the grocery stores can't make a living right now because, they're losing money. So what do? They turn around and manufacture a lie, which gets out on public prep, which then turns around and says we might literally have a financial collapse due to the fact that China is not shipping us a lot of stuff. Then on the other side of the coin, you have, and that's where I was asking you if you understood the whole thing about World War III. And then I didn't ask, but I will ask now. Do you think World War III will happen in your lifetime? I don't think so unless it's really a war about oil. Otherwise, I don't think Russia's going to go and invade like Red Dawn, but that's why I asked. What is your opinion on this situation? Do you think like Tyson Wahlberg, the dipshit, or do you believe in your own opinion? I'd like to hear other people's opinion. Tyson just basically got on my bad side because, I've done more research than most people. I know what I'm talking about, but at the same time, I'm also talking about the mainstream media's false news. Same with other news agencies, too. I mean, look at the other agencies, Macabre. The other agencies are all false. They're pitting fear against one another. So my question is, what is your overall opinion of this situation? All right. Okay. Picture me with 462 subscribers. I'll break it down in easy Macabre terms. You get a prepper who's got 500,000 subscribers. He sells prepping crap on his own website. He says you need to prep. There's going to be a World War III and you need to prep because of financial collapse, and we need to prep because otherwise the entire country's going down the toilet. Right? But he sits there and he fabricated this so he can make a living. Right? Meanwhile, you got another guy saying, you need to prep, but prepping's not going to be that hard anymore because we're having World War III. Again, he's using the fear tactic. All because they're trying to divert, in easy Macabre terms, they're trying to divert the election from the election might be stolen by the Democrats to you better prep and worry about prepping only. Forget the election. You see, it could be also orchestrated by the Democrats. Think of it. They want to basically say, oh, well, we need to raise prices for our grocery stores that are getting the food stamps already. They just extended food stamps another 3 months, probably 5, so Christmas time. That means right before the election, food stamps are still probably going to be going because Biden just extended it again. And he's giving everyone notice, so we might have mask mandates again on planes and everything else. But meanwhile, China, all the way over here, isn't shipping anything. They're in full lockdown. 1.2 billion people, 1.1 billion are in lockdown. And every variant that comes out in this country or super strain China stays in lockdown, hoping they can ride out the storm. Now, we would be in the same position. We would not have coronavirus right now, in Macabre terms. If we went into a 4 to 6 month house lockdown, Australia is getting very little right now. Australia went into like 6 months to a year lockdown. But other countries are so worried, Macabre terms, so worried that they are, here's the breakdown, that their economy is going down the shitter, that they have to get people to work and do other things. So the virus is spreading all over the world, and we're still infected. Meanwhile, you got, again, China not shipping out much because of lockdowns, and China, quote unquote, knows something's coming down the pipe. They own 50% of our farmland. Maybe they're riding it out just to claim all the farmland. Or maybe it's something else. See where I'm going with this? And so, the oil, on the other hand, quote unquote, is running out by 2067. So let me put it this way. They said, if you gas your car up and blah, 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 by 2067, oil will run out. But here's the kicker. Every 42 gallons of oil that they extract makes 19 gallons of gas. Not to mention, every tire takes 7 gallons of gas. So if you have a car, Macabre, that's 28 gallons of oil, over half a barrel of oil to make 4 tires. Not to mention, oil is a catalyst or a polymer for computer chips, phones, rubber keyboards, rubber computers, oil is a thing. But if we run out of oil, we run out of phones. We run out of phones. We run out of computers. We run out of coffee pots. We run out of wires. We run out of everything. Everything hinders on the lifeblood of this planet, oil. And we suck it all up, use it all up. Then we have to switch over to electric. But our electric grid can't be done. So then, breaking it down for you more in the oil part, you got oil, you got more oil, and then you got more oil. And then what happens with the oil? The oil is broke down to the point of no return. Basically, they don't take into account that oil is needed for polymers, oil is needed for tires, oil is used for rubbers, oil is used for everything under the sun. Not to mention lubricating your car. You need a car oil, which is crude oil converted into the right formulas and additives. Not to mention they got to take all that oil and convert it into gasoline. Not to mention they got to basically take oil or whatever else and make it into compressed gas like propane. Propane will run out. Acetylene will run out. That goes with heating oils. Heating oils will also run out as well. So while they're sitting there saying, here's the birdie, look over here, Macabre, the government's doing something like this. Or look over here while we do something over here. You see, what the government's doing is they don't trust us. So they're hiding a lot of the evidence. And so what they're doing is they're hiding it. Not to mention, I got something else that's really scary for you, Macabre. I don't know if you heard this, but I'll tell you in a minute. Part of the breakdown of the crisis. Basically, you got preppers who are prepping, which they need to because the financial collapse will happen, which means the banks are going to collapse. We're going to be in a shithole place. But at the same time, China can't make anything either because they're in full lockdown mode, which means other countries are bringing in virus everywhere else. And yet, government and states think, well, we can't tread on people because their freedom of choice and freedom of speech and freedom of religion says they can go out in public, mask or not mask. Fine by me. I don't care. I stay here anyway. Actually, I went out yesterday. But back to the oil thing. When they try to force people to go with cars, the Supreme Court's going to shoot it down and say, no, you got to stay with gas. But the oil companies said this is for cars for 2067. Then the oil companies re-updated their story and says it'll run out faster due to the fact that we're not taking into account propane for RVs, heating places. I mean, Sister Pee-wee lives on heating propane. It's like $600 for like 100 gallons. $600. It's like 1,200 to 1,800. No, I think she said the last quote she told me was 2,400 for 250 gallons of propane. I don't know if propane went down where she's at, but think of it that way: 2,400 gallons or $2,400, $2,500 for 250 gallons of propane. That's what, $1,250 per 125 gallons of propane. I could do the math real quick for you. I mean, literally, we know she lives in California, so let's just basically skip the calculator and just say it is too damn expensive. Okay. Now, they didn't take into account for heating oil for houses, airline industries, cruise line industries, or the cargo ship that, see, airlines use number 4 jet fuel. To make diesel number 4 jet fuel, aka diesel number 4, you have to have about a calibration, right? Which means more oil used. That is why they're packing, if you didn't know, the airline's so crammed because they know there's an oil shortage. Not to mention, bunker fuel is getting more and more expensive to ship things. Now, Biden's trying to make a deal where the cargo industry takes a loss for the home country. They're like, take a loss for America. The companies shouldn't be taking a loss because Biden wants lower pricing for cargoes. China's not making enough anyways to ship it. Once we run out, we run out. But in the meantime, grocery stores are full right now. But how long does that last? And so the grocery stores are doing is they're trying to keep supply and demand up so there's not much panicking, But the thing is, online orders, stripped clean. Online orders, gone. In person, people are looking at pricing going, no, I'm not paying it. Or I'll just get basic milk, eggs, and butter. Now, if eggs are that expensive, you just get milk and butter. Last time I was at the store, I picked up a couple items. I was thinking of getting milk, butter, and popcorn today. That was my 3 items I was going to get, and then have the popcorn. But my point is breaking it down like you just asked. Some guy said, oh, well, you're a dipshit. Thing is I'm not a dipshit. Thing is there's people out there worried about World War III. God already said there's not going to be a World War III, not in our lifetime. Thing is, these people came up. Let me break it down in easy terms. You remember the stimulus problem, right? People kept saying there's going to be 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th, 15th, 18th, 20th, 21st stimulus check, right? I said the stimulus checks are gone. Bye-bye. Gone. No more after 3. People started saying I was full of crap. Former moderator said I was a dipshit. When the stimulus check stopped, I said, eventually, people are going to realize they bought junk. Pawn shops are going to fill up. They're going to start selling their junk. And eventually, pawn shops are going to have problems. And I said that we'll be going into a slow economic recession, semi-depression, and inflationary period due to the fact that there's no more stimulus checks. But I also said in 2020, before Biden even chose Kamala Harris, Harris is going to be chosen. Then I said Biden will be president and Harris will be vice president. We all got into an argument. So, to me, we can argue all you want. Point is the Republicans weren't prepping during the Trump administration. They all believe Donald Trump's going to fix things. Now that the Republicans and Democrats are duking out, I blame both parties. Remember, I'm not a party favorite. Democrats want to basically put fear into the Republican voters. And they've got it. They literally won by saying your rights are as a woman have been violated. They're going to allow rape, incest, all this. And the Republican women said not that. Now, the Republican women could turn around literally and vote Democratic this election just to make sure to make a point and then get their Roe versus Wade stacked into place again and then go back to Republican. That could happen too. I mean, it could happen. They're doing this to make a point. The second easy term to explain is the trans people are basically saying their rights are being taken away by the Republicans. So they're getting fear. So you got 96% of the pissed off women in the world, transgendered people, all of them, or the LGBT, I should say, QIA, pissed off. And you got all these people, the blacks and everyone, saying your rights don't matter. You're going to have to give kids. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. But in the end, the breakdown is that the Republicans keep opening their mouth and saying, oh, well, you need to, we need to keep the male population up. Now they're saying that they literally said in a report today, easy terms, person who's 4 years to 18 shouldn't consider a sex change because they need that male or female for breeding purposes. Think of it, Macabry, right there, for breeding purposes. But if they take away the lower class abilities and no abortions in the lower class states like Hispanics or blacks, and they're forced to have kids, by 2040, there's going to be more blacks and Hispanics than whites in this country. Think about it. That's one of the breakdowns. They're worried that their white rhino power is slowly dwindling down to nothing.
Because African Americans will more likely be the majority race soon. Anyways, I'm leaving.
Here you go, phone. Take it with you and then call me when it gets sore. I need to give you my my other phone. There. All right. Call me before you do anything. Anyways, so basically to understand it completely, Macabry, what you need to realize is when the stimulus checks came around, the easiest term I could do is people were monopolizing on stimulus checks. They were waiting for their stimulus. They were hungry for a fourth stimulus. They were hungry for a fifth. They said the government owes them $2,000 a month. When the stimulus checks went out, the government took it away for two reasons. One is they were wasting the stimulus checks on junk. Two is they figured they can extend the stimulus checks through the food stamp program. So as long as food stamps kept coming at $250 to $500 or more per person, they didn't have to worry, right? So they did. Then Mitch McConnell says recently, oh, you got to take it away. Well, that's good. Do it because they might go back to work. But they've just extended it for 3 to 5 months. So food stamps have been extended for 3 to 5 months. What's that tell you? Tells you in easy terms, they just bought the election. But it's a blue wave. I'm already forecasting it because of various things. Each party's pitting each other. Now, when you got pissed off Roe versus Wade women being pissed off, then you have pissed off transgender LGBT being feared. And then you have the pissed off people of the Republican Party being told, see, the easy term is it's a war between Democrats and Republicans, okay? Well, let me put it to you this way. Back in 2 years ago, I used this term, okay? Think of a war zone. Think of you as in a war zone. Think of you on a battlefield. Think of one party's the Republican, like Civil War, and one party's the Democrat, and they're duking it out. And they keep duking it out, and they keep duking it out, and they keep duking it out, and then they keep duking it out, and then they keep duking it out. And then they sit there, and then for easy terms, they go, oh, well, we got to worry about prepping because, prepping, and then all of a sudden prepping has happened, right? Because that's the only thing they can think of, right? They think if the Republicans have money, they can go suck up everything that's owned. While the Democrats can't buy any. Some people can't even buy enough food to get through a month because there's not enough to buy. But on the other side, you got, and let's just say this is like a tug of war. Republicans on one side, Democrats on the other. The Democrats say, Macabry, you're LBGT. They're going to take away your rights. Okay, so you went over to vote Democratic. You got it. They go to the women. You're a Republican, but they're taking away your rights as a woman. You're going to have to give birth if you were raped or incest. That Republican says, well, I'll go and vote for the Democrat side, get Roe versus Wade installed again, and then go back to being Republican. So they go vote Democrat because they know if they don't, their rights are on the line. So the Democrats are pulling and pulling and pulling while the Republicans are sitting there going, oh, they're going to basically force you to pay for everyone's phones and internet and home care and sex change and this and that. And you're going to be having high gases for 500 years. And then some people go over there. So it's basically a tit for tat. Everything they're saying is back and forth like a windshield wiper. They're jumping ship from one ship to the other, hearing the things. And every day it's getting to the point where they're jumping ship from one point to the other. You see where I'm going with this? It's easy terminology. So they're putting fear into people. One fear in me. The thing is when you basically turn around, you cannot fear what is going on. I mean, look, the Bible states rumors of wars and rumors of future wars, but the end is not yet coming. You see where I'm going with this? The end is not yet coming. So basically, the end is not coming. You see where I'm going with this? So basically, the easiest term is they're pitting fear against each other. And if you worry about something stupid like World War III, there's a guy 14 days ago saying we're going to have World War III in 6 days. Hasn't happened yet. God told me we don't need to worry about that. What we need to worry about is the financial collapse that could happen because we're not getting enough products in. And we got to look and do research on everything. That's the thing. The oil, during the pandemic, the oil thing came out that if we keep freaking draining the lifeblood, we're not going to have enough lifeblood left to power anything. I mean, literally, think of it this way, okay, Macabre, in easy Macabre terms. I want to make a joke and say, I hope you're not retarded. Jokingly, of course, I know you're not retarded. So the breakdown is, without oil, cell phones, communication towers, TV towers, anything that needs rubber, computer chips, etc., go extinct. Computer chips and towers, computer chips and satellites, computer chips and everything, unless they start recycling them, melting it down and hoping they can get it up. But even if they melt down or refurbish or reuse the phones, eventually the batteries are going to fail. You need polymers, you need oil, you need whatever. I mean, you need all these things that's used, and our oil, our lifeblood is running out. And because of it, they're literally fighting and arguing that basically, that we need to worry about World War III now. We need to worry about the financial collapse of this country because if the financial collapse happens, World War III definitely will come down the pipe after. But what we need to do is prep as much as possible because the government ain't going to take care of us. Let me tell you a government story. Last night I was listening to the scanner. That's why I said, if Pee Wee ever listens, she might be shocked. This guy had a weapons raid. It was all over. They read serial numbers of Rugers and Glocks and XDs and Mossbergs and you name it. Stacks and stacks of guns. And then asked if they can get it registered through the registered database to find out who owns these weapons. They said run it through the national and the state registries. I didn't think we had a national and state registry. See where I'm going with this? Then on top of that, Macabre, before you joined yesterday's edition, GG literally asked, all right, so Pee Wee's an awesome person. She just emailed me. I'll give you guys her kind of opinion. We're talking about this video right now. Basically, besides the weapons being raided, right? So Gigi asked about listening to a scanner, possibly in Chicago. Chicago is purely encrypted. That means the government is paying almost $250 billion, $250 billion, to make every police department in the world or in America encrypted. Why? What do they want that they're not telling us, huh? Maybe it's because we just heard that there's a nationwide and a nation and statewide, hold on. So she says it's good to keep an open mind. I do keep an open mind, but the thing is, God doesn't want me to worry, and we're not gonna have World War III. China wants to have world domination. China does, but China is not going to get world domination unless they basically keep everyone by starving us all out, which could be the possibility. That's the easy term I can say for you all out there, including the slow-minded, being funny here, the slow, dumbfounded, funny. I'm being funny again, humorous. Macabre, but if you get it, easy terms, Macabre. I'm just trying to be funny. I know you're not learning disabled is unless they're trying to starve us out or keep us from getting any goods, and it's all for them. That's the only way they're trying to kill us off. She says, who knows what will happen in the future? Best to watch what all think and then inform. My opinion is I've watched enough of videos, to realize. And I've talked to God so many times lately. It's not even funny. I mean, I spent like 45 minutes to an hour puffing on pipes last night, talking to God literally about the what's going on in the world. So basically, Pee Wee just said, best to watch what other people think, yada, 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 and form your own opinions and have a plan just in case. She's right, though. You have to have a plan. That's what we're trying to teach you. But at the same time, I don't believe World War III is going to happen, nor is God going to allow it. What I do believe in is the financial collapse of the countries, and that might start with China crippling us. So, uh, and therefore, we'll run out of oil quicker, but we're also going to run out of oil is just the least. And by the way, think of it this way, okay? For Macabree's terminology and for the rest, okay? I know Pee Wee emailed me a few minutes ago, so she might be watching this, just learning. I think she loves listening to hear other people's opinions. But without oil and computer and future upgrades of computers, we're going to be screwed to the point where everyone's going to be producing everything by hand again. Literally, you're going to be going into a shop and finding your soups that were once canned in aluminum cans, putting in glass jars because that's what they can make. They make glass by hand. They're not going to be able to put everything in cans anywhere. It's going to get harder and harder to manufacture things that actually shut down and slow down our food production. Think of it from that point of view. And so anything, if the computer can't do, if we rely on computers right now, and we rely on it too much, we're gonna be going backwards. Where we're gonna go to the Stone Age. We're gonna hit rock bottom really fast, and then we're gonna basically all be in a panic due to the fact that we relied on technology too long. I guess that's why I like snail mail. You can write a letter, basically tell someone to fuck off, and stick it in the mailbox. You're good to go. So I wanted to share that with you all. I don't know how far you guys want to go. So Macabre, let me just say this, okay? Do you understand what I'm saying now? Between the easy, simple terms of tug of war, the tug of war is every party is putting fear into the other side, so you vote for their party. But at the same time, you got people out there orchestrating, making shit up to control the people like others to give them a living, like coming up with on YouTube of prepping or nuclear war is going to happen and other things. They're looking to make a living at home, and the best ways to do it is YouTube. And when YouTube doesn't pay them, that reminds me, I need to email Pee Wee something real quick. A thought. So basically, what I was asking Higgins this last night, hey, what's up, Mom? Aunt Pee Wee ain't watching today, so, sorry to say, Mippo. Yeah, if Aunt Pee Wee was watching, she'd be like, show us the doggy. So, do you guys all understand now? So, because frankly, we're going in circles now. And Macabre, I hope you understand, so I'm waiting for you. Because we got 3 viewers and only you commenting that dipshit I threw out, so. So, I mean, his opinions, he thinks I'm full of crap. Well, maybe, maybe not. You said it yourself, I'm kind of semi-intelligent. So my question is to you is, do you understand? The reason why I'm waiting patiently, people, is because, I got things to do eventually. Yeah, well, it's fine and dandy. I just want to get out of here eventually, Backerbury. I just don't want to be here all day going in circles, because, the point is I've been here 3 hours and 20 minutes, okay? I got a game to play, and I got a phone call coming in for Chloe eventually. But I also want to make sure that we're on the same page. And that, if you're multitasking, then, you're not really fully concentrating anyways. But at the same time, I tried to explain it to you in easy terms that you can understand. There's too many people out there that are putting fear mongering on each side. Is what I'm trying to say. One side says we're gonna have World War III. They're making money off of your fears, and you'll watch World War III vids because they made it. The other side is fear mongering for other things. And the thing is, the problem is if you're gonna prep for one presidential thing, like prep for Carter, Clinton, Obama, Biden, but you're not going to prep for the Republican side, then you need to look at it from the point of view it's a manufactured crisis. Now, if you look at it from the other side of the fence, people turned around, right? I'll tell you, I knew this girl. I don't remember her name now. Therapist, really good. Emily. Emily was outspoken. But Emily turned around once, George W. She says, every day gets us closer to him leaving office, right? So if the Republicans turn around and use the same principle as Emily, every day is one less day that we have Biden in office, whether it be one term or two. Just think of it. Then it goes into a period of what's going to happen for the future. You see? The bottom line is everyone's panicking, panic buying, and fear mongering. The moppy's on the floor. So, with 2 people, I guess I can disappear soon, guys, so I can play my game, or you guys still want me? Because, frankly, like I said, if you look at the big picture, I'm not attacking Pee Wee. I'm not attacking that. I'm not talking to African guy. I'm just saying, look, my intel reports are saying we're not going to war. God's saying we're not going to war, World War III, anyways. And we might have a financial collapse of the system. But What I'm saying is I want you guys to think. Think for once. I play my game and I deep think when I think. And I look over every note and everything I do. I even watch my videos later that I make. So, I'll wait 6 more minutes, I guess. Hit 3 hours, 30 minutes, I'm out. So, bottom line is, think of it this way. It's just multi-fear mongering right now. Each party's slinging shit at each other. What I would recommend is take everything as a grain of salt and wait and see and pray and hope. Because everything happens for a reason. And those reasons are fun. And you just sit back and wait. Remember what I said. Roe versus Wade's overturned. We'll see how much damage it's done. Meantime, we can only speculate. Same goes from now until the election. We sit and we wait. And we watch both sides sling mud at the other side. And shit. And then we wait and we watch. Then we sit and wait and see how much fear mongering and lies they fling at each other. And then we sit and we wait until election night to see if I'm right or wrong. Or if God's right and wrong. Or God's right and I'm wrong. You see? Thing is, we just sit and wait. I mean, look. As long as the Republicans keep opening their damn chili hole, talking about transgender youth can't have sex changes, hypothetically, because they need them for breeding purposes, they're going to be taught, they're trying to be brainwashed to be used as breeding tools. They're basically cattle ready to be bred. Maybe they are tranny. Maybe they need that sex change. But no, they were being told you got to breed. And then, if a white woman, a black woman, a Hispanic woman, an Asian woman, another country's woman that comes here and lives here gets raped, you got to carry that baby. It's law. Then, if we have too many babies in this country and not enough money to support them, our country collapses. We go to a third world country because we're now as big, if not bigger, than India or China. Maybe they want us to be like China. Then we can manufacture everything until China fuck off. Maybe that's the U.S. plans. No one knows what the government's telling. They want everything encrypted. They want everything secretive. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it in the old noodle. Think about what I said. Then, the Republicans opened their chili hole about a 10-year-old supposed to be giving birth. I don't know the whole story, but that's giving birth because it's a white baby. Supposedly a white baby. I'm sorry to say, but if you're worried about your own race, then you got so much on your plate. Maybe God needs to extinct the world because there's too many people thinking about who's the better race. We're not the better race. We're all stupid people. Stupid people. Some believe in the imam. The others believe in the Pope. The other believe in some president from the Catholic or Mormon church. Another one believe in the president of the Baptist or Presbyterian church or whatever. Think about it. It's a political war, a religious war. Let me tell you what Gandhi said once. There were 700,000 villages at the time he did this speech. 700,000 villages in India. Not one person cares about patting you on the back and giving you the power in the Congress or the Senate or the presidency or whatever. All they care about is limited to bread and salt. In this country, it all limits it down to what the government can provide. the people. That's all they care about. That's why the government keeps extending food stamps. They know this pandemic's worse. And yet, the lie is most of it is minor symptoms. But they inflate it like a balloon. And they say, oh yeah, this variant's really dangerous. It's got 100,000% population. I think it's like 10,000 now percent more contagious rate, right? So what did they do? When it all gets said and done, they pop it. Then a new one comes in. Like this one's 100,000% increase in infectious disease. Some of you are vaccinated, some not. Get a booster, blah blah blah. And then when that gets through, they pop it. And then another one comes up. In the meantime, they keep giving the benefits to the people, and then the people don't want to go to work. Meanwhile, you go places like I did yesterday, grocery stores, little mom and pop shops, sheriffs, fire stations, bus drivers. No. Now hiring bus drivers. There's not enough bus drivers for schools. Now hiring sheriffs. Now hiring grocery clerks. Now hiring. No one wants to leave the house because of the pandemic. So the government says, oh, we'll just give them money and let them stay home. They'll vote for us because they like the freebies. Truth. You see? And with that being 3 hours, 30 minutes, I'm out. Please stay tuned for another video later. I'll wait and see if Gigi wants one later. I'm going to go game. So, in the meantime, here it is. Please unsubscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestions. Hit the like, subscribe button so it's fun for your family, including your dogs, your cats, your bunnies, your service dogs. Service bunnies. Hit the bell notification for new content every day. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Just leave the comments nice is all we ask. And thank you for watching Sunday's edition of the What's Going On in the World. Stay tuned for another video later today or tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, and God bless you in everything you do.